Welcome back, silly geese. Honk, honk. Bryan Michael in the house, tattoo artist, Front Street, drives a Silvia. He's a wild and crazy guy. He likes to change his hairstyle a lot. None of this is really all that important to this podcast, but you know what it is at this point. Worst intro ever. Sorry, Bryan. Roll it. This episode is brought to you by Heatmaker. Heatmaker. Literally go fuck yourself, because if you want to buy it, you can't. Just kidding. You can totally still buy it. You just gotta wait in line like it's a Nike SB drop and you're waiting outside the skate shop. But you know what? It's worth it, and I'll tell you why. Because if you buy some fake fucking Heatmaker knockoffs, you're gonna look like the dude with fake Jordans, and everyone's gonna laugh at you while you walk down the street. And shame. And also, like, support the homies, right? If you want the best steering for your hearing, if you want the best feeling for your feelings, if you want the best handling for your bandling, dude, these ads are so bad. Just, you know what to do, dude. They got t-shirts and other stuff too if you don't have a car that they make knuckles for. Heatmaker is just a business trying to get by. Bodie! Hold on! Sorry. Anyway. Heatmaker. Bring the heat. Let the heat make your ride. What's the fucking slogan? I don't know. Whatever. Just buy them. Well, welcome.
Hi, how's it going?
Long time no see.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on a first date right now or something. Kind of nervous.
I mean, it is kind of datey. It's very intimate.
We gotta like get real personal and get to know each other.
Yeah, so tell me about your family.
Oh my god, jeez. No, we're deflecting this.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Usually we just like BS, and then if it's good, I leave it in, and if it's not, then I just cut it. Like when people like actually want to hear us talking about stuff. Word.
Yeah, I didn't know how you did it. It seems like you always kind of like run through, and everybody touches every crazy subject.
Yeah, it kind of works. I don't know how it works, but it works. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Have you ever done a podcast before?
No.
Well,
nope.
I'm happy to pop your pod cherry pod
on this first date.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we first started hanging out when you were on your like road trip. Well, I think we'd like seen each other around and stuff, but when you were on your road trip, kind of like during COVID, you like built a like mobile tattoo studio out of your trailer, and then like was still able to fit your car in there and like just toured the country and stuff. And I thought that was super cool. And I'm like, man, I should probably get him on the podcast and we should talk about it. And it's been like a year since I said that, but here we are.
No, man, it was kind of crazy. So I guess really the whole roots of that, it was kind of like, well, staying home, it was locked up. I was like, I don't want to be on Long Island. Like, if something bad happens, I'd rather be in the middle of the desert, like in California. So I was like, max credit line, like me and my pops like built that thing like all crazy. And I was like, because we weren't allowed to work, I was like, well, if you're not gonna let me work, I'll just go live in Slab City with like all the lizard people.
Yeah.
You know, but really the root of it was I heard that there was an annual membership at Grange, which I think was like $350 or something. I'm not sure, $350, $450.
I don't know if they do that anymore, but maybe.
Yeah, and then it was like $7 a day to drive, and you could camp there. So I was like, fuck it, I'll live at Grange. Like $350 for the year. I'm like 7 times 5. I could barely do math. I'm like, whatever. It's like 2 tattoos a week. I'll survive, and I could just like do some shirts tucked in Casey shit, like, and just live in the desert at Grange.
Yeah. No showers.
No showers, just like gotta get the gym membership at LA or whatever. Craziness.
Yeah, man.
But what it turned out when I ended up finally getting down there after hanging out with you guys, I pulled up and the Lizard King was down there. And I was like, hey man, I want to like pay for the annual fee and like camp. I want to like camp here. He's like, no more camping. Like, we're not doing that. These kids have been keeping me up all fucking night. Just like bugging out. And I was like, damn, I probably should have called first before I like did this whole plan to just come here and like be completely beat. But no, it was good. It was definitely some craziness, especially like along meeting you guys, you know? That was a crazy part of the trip.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Because we just like jetted out straight to you. And then Super D at Willows. That was pretty dope. That was fun to drive that track, you know? Pretty crazy facility.
Yeah. Yeah. All the rest of my team has like been driving that since like the dawn of time. And then I didn't really drive the full track stuff much. And then they were always like, oh, that's the shit. Like Thunderhill East. So there's East and West. And West is like a little bit smaller. And I was like, oh, it's more technical. I bet it seems like it's more fun or whatever. But like getting to go all out on East, I was like, okay, I get why they like this. It's just like you have to be like precision. And it's
fast. It's very fast too.
Yeah.
Like you come down that straightaway into turn one, and it is like you could go in like top of fifth gear, just like craziness.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I ever went to a track where it was like there was perches and track workers at every turn.
Yeah, and you gotta like watch for flags and stuff.
And I could hear every time I spun, I could like hear them like, oh yeah, here goes another one. I could hear them roasting me on the radio. I'm like, God damn it! Like,
yeah, man, that's how it is. Like they definitely. I had the track. So Jeff Pitts used to run Thunder Drift, and he's like, he's been like a big part of like the drift community in Northern California for a long time. And then during that time, he was actually like working for the track, and he like came up to me. He's like, can't stay out of the dirt, huh? Like, come on, man, fuck you.
Like damn, man, like, yeesh.
But he was right. But the track work, he's got a radio so he can hear like red BMW off. And he's like, dude, all I'm hearing today is like red BMW off track. I'm like, all right, like.
You were going crazy. I have it on my old phone videos of you just flying and doing big entries. And it was either like every other, you'd like hit it perfect. And then it was like, holy crap, Palmer's in the dirt. Like running up the grass. I was like, holy crap. Like,
there was one where I put tire marks like all the way up to like the very top of the hill. And someone was like, I forgot, we were like eating, because you eat lunch and it kind of like looks at turn one, and someone's like, who was that? I was like, that was me. Oh, sorry about that.
That was awesome. I remember I was like standing at the entry with Julian. We were watching you, and I was just like, he's going crazy right now. I was like, Palmer's just fucking going nuts. Man's got a death wish.
Yeah, I was having a good time.
That was fun, man. Yeah, I remember I pulled up. The first place I went to in Willows was a Walmart, because I was like, I gotta like park and walk into town. Like I can't park this big ass trailer in town. Like, so I like parked, and there was like a little overpass that head like into town. And I'm like walking over, and I see like this like person, which I like looked at them, and I didn't want to stare because I don't like to stare at people, but I looked, and it was like straight up like hills have eyes, like little tiny person rolling by on like a fucking on like a hoverboard, like straight past me. And I just remember I was just like, what the fuck? Like, where am I right now? Like, I've never been to California before, like other than like going down at Grange, I guess 2018 when we were down there, but that was just like a quick little blip. I was like, this is my first California experience. Like drove across the country, got here. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, bro?
So the first place you ended up at was Willows. Like that was your first stop in California?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, Willows, it's off 5, so like anything off 5, like in like Central California, it's like all farmland pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar, like all the way like top to bottom off 5, and then like 5 runs through Sacramento, and it runs through Bakersfield, and it runs through like, and then it goes all the way through like deep through the middle of LA. So it's like you like, depending on where you're at on the 5, you could be in like a very different situation.
Yeah, they think you think California, you think like surfers and like hot blonde chicks. You're like not thinking like freaky mutant people in like the desert, but like that shit exists.
Yeah, dude. And then you go to Apple Valley and you're like, oh, turn it up another notch.
That's like a whole other level. Like I remember whatever the gatekeeper's name, I always call him the Lizard Man. I feel like that's like proper name for him. Like, but the Lizard Man, he was telling me like people were breaking in to Grange to steal their recyclables, like not like raid them of like the copper pipes. Like I could understand like there's certain levels of like crackheadness like that. I could be like, okay, like you want to go steal the copper out of a house, makes sense. But like you're gonna go and break into a facility, hop a fence to go steal the water bottles, the empty water bottles. Like what's going on out here, bro? Like
I don't know if wine bottles you can get money for recycling those, but the dude that lives at that track has a lot of wine bottles sitting out. So
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what was getting stolen. You know?
I think that dude's pickled 24/7, man.
Jeez, man. He's something. He was when I told him I tattooed, he's showing me his tattoos. He's like, I got this tweaker girl on my arm, and it's literally like, I don't know if you've actually looked at his tattoos. It's like a pinup girl shooting up meth.
No
like,
way.
Syringe like in the fucking arm, and he's like, "Can you fix this?" I'm like, like how? Like what do you mean fix this? Like remove the needle or like just freshen it up? Like crazy, bro. Yeah, he told me his story. He ended up. So when I asked him and I was like about the camping, he was like, "You can't camp here," but he's like, "If you go down like to the power line, you make a right, and you head down 2 miles, like." That's BLM land. You could park there. And I was like, what is that? Like BLM land? And he's like, Bureau of Land Management. He's like, you could park there 14 days. He's like, and then after that, all you got to do is move 15 feet. You could stay out there forever. He's like, I was doing that for 2 years before I got hired here. Like, ended up at Grange. Crazy.
Wow. Yeah. So he's just living in the desert. And then he's like, I can get paid to live out here.
Yeah,
sign
he got
me
the best
up.
gig. He got the best fucking gig, man. He was like, he was just living out in the fucking desert doing like some nomad shit and ended up at Grange with a job. Like
he needs
so nuts.
He needs a drift car. Imagine how good he'd be.
Fucking Christ.
What do you think it would be? I'm saying it's like there's like no shot it's not a Camaro.
I was thinking IROC. Yeah. Definitely IROC.
Just like a fake IROC.
Oh my fucking God. It'd be like every takeover he would just get out there. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's something else. He's a good dude, though. He's definitely a good dude.
Yeah, he's yelled at me a couple times, but he's also been cool to me a couple times. So, that's just how it goes. I mean, but when I got yelled at, I was doing some scumbag shit. So,
yeah, usually when I get yelled at, I deserve to be yelled at. So it's like, whatever. Unless I'm a US Air, then I'm just getting yelled at for no fucking reason. Just getting screamed at. Like, I know damn well you ain't fucking parking there. Like, oh, chill, bro. Like, damn, Simba told me I could park here. Crazy.
Could you imagine like owning a track though? Like I'd be like livid all the time. I'd be like, I don't even like drifting anymore. Like I hate everyone.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes being at events, I'm like, ugh. Could you imagine like being responsible for like the place and like getting sued for people being stupid?
Yeah, I wouldn't want nothing to do with that. I would need to like have like people on management who just like take care of everything if that was the situation. It would just kill it for you,
Yeah.
Like
just show up and drive.
That's crazy though, because if you think about it, some of these tracks, they're selling for like what houses are selling for.
Yeah.
You know, like you could buy one of them and then build like shipping container houses and just live there with like all your fucking homies. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, US Air. I think it's sold for 400,000 or something. No, or like maybe it was more than that. I think it was like 900 or something. It was like, but it was like under $1 million. And like that may sound like a lot of money, but like if you think about it,
it's a lot of
like,
money, but at the same time, some people are like, if it's like, I think Grange sold for like 5, 6.
yeah.
Like that's a house in California and New York. Like that's a nice house.
That's
That's a
not even a
nice
house out here, depending on where you're at. I mean, in Victorville, Apple Valley, that's a nice house. But
Victorville is on one too. That's some crazy shit. Yeah, California trips me out, bro.
My company was doing work in Victorville, and I was like, let me get this project. Like, I'll go down there, I'll see it through start to finish, because I was like, I'm just gonna go to Grange every day, like after work. What up?
Oh man.
But it didn't go that way, so whatever.
Yeah, man. Some craziness. But it is true. Like I feel like if you really wanted to do some like drift commune stuff like that, you just find some track in the middle of nowhere. Just be like, all right, we're committing to this. Like we have a drift school now. Like this is like a drift training ground.
I feel like this is how you get a reality show. Like everyone living there. It's pretty much Tiger King. Let's be real.
Just turn into a zoo. It slowly becomes a big zoo.
Come on down. It's a drift school. I'll teach you. And it's like someone walking out with like guns on the holsters. Like, hey, hop in that one. It's like,
knock off EMT vest. Like, all right.
Paying all your employees in meth.
Jesus. It would be cool though. It would be cool. I wish someone would commit to it. You know, someone with like good reason.
It'd save a lot of money on what's that called? Employment tax? Yeah, that. Paying people in meth. It's like
they're volunteers. They volunteer for meth.
These are volunteer instructors. And then everyone's just like, all right, get in the car. We need to change the tires. One dude's just holding the car up like no jack.
Jesus Christ. NASCAR's like, you gotta get these wheels changed. Let's go.
Customers are waiting.
I think people would go for it. I think we could make this happen. You know? Be like,
yeah.
I don't know. You just need like a few partners. It wouldn't be like that unreasonable.
Amphetamine circuit.
maybe we gotta lose the meth, you know?
Yeah, like, sorry, no more meth jokes.
Yeah, like we could grow weed on the premises. We could sell weed or in trade, work for weed, work for, I don't know, be like a mountain, like a snow mountain. You'd be like, all right, you work here, you could fucking ride for free.
I'm into this like drift track commune lifestyle. Like, do we just go completely off the grid and like do like water births and shit? Like, and
just never go to a doctor again. We'll just have our own medicine, you know?
Yeah. It'll be like easy. It'll be like that. It'll be like Easy Rider, dude. But like with drifting. And then like drift cars will like drive up through the desert and we'll like be like, hey, what's up, man? Like, come check us out. And then, you know, I don't know. I like just watched that movie for the first time. I'm sad to admit.
I don't think I've seen it before, Easy Rider. I don't think I've seen it. I just watched Waterworld a few months ago from your recommendation.
Dude, Waterworld claps cheeks.
So I'm thinking more like Waterworld, like trade me some good soil and you could stay here. I don't know. We'll just go off the barter system. Like I caught a fish here.
Yeah. I caught a fish. Let me get some tires.
Oh my God.
It would be like Waterworld because we'll have to get like a tanker ship of gas. So like, or we could just, I know what we could do. We could run all the cars off E85 and we could grow corn. And then we could like make our own ethanol. And then we could also, I'm into this, sustainable drift commune.
Yeah, it would work perfectly.
Rubber trees, and we'll make our own. I don't know if that would work, but you know what? Whatever.
We're gonna need to import some items to like our little.
Yeah.
You know, it might get a little cultish, at some point, so we're gonna have to like write like a constitution or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have some kind of democratic voting system because you know, we don't want to end up like wild country. I mean, it could be tight though.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Who's gonna be Osho, dude? Who's gonna be the fucking? Who's gonna be the guru?
I don't know. Who's going all in? Who's throwing the most money down for this piece of land?
Like, just imagine everyone starts wearing robes and shit. I love this idea though. This is great. We should actually do this. I don't know.
Parachute pants, and we all just dress like Naoki. Fucking Crocs and parachute pants.
Fuck it, dude. Yeah, we'll like fly Naoki out, and like he can be like the
God. Guru. He'll be our god. You know, we worship him. Bow at his feet.
If you want to be part of the commune, bring me your S chassis.
Oh my god. Gotta give like a sacrificial part like every time he visits, like, here, Naki-san.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Here's some gold.
Oh man. We're gonna go to that. We're gonna get on the precious metals. That's gonna be our form of currency. The gold and silver.
I mean, yeah. It worked before. It worked in like during the gold rush. And before that. Not so much now.
I could go for it. I could get behind it.
Like we only use Dogecoin here.
Oh man. Make our own crypto.
Yeah.
Kanzai coin or something. I don't know.
Oh, good idea. Drift tokens.
We'll just keep making fake altcoins and pumping them up and just ripping everyone off, and then we'll get rich that way. You know?
I'm in.
Oh man. That's crazy.
All right. Well, so how'd you get into drifting, dude?
Oh, I don't know, man. That's an interesting one because really, I feel like most people kind of like do it collectively as like friends. Like most of the rest of Front Street, they knew each other from like riding a 50/50 skate park because they were all Staten Islanders, and like they kind of transitioned into it naturally through there. But I kind of discovered it on my own. I was always like into cars, and I kind of just like found it like, oh, what's this place, English Town? Like went down and checked out an event, and I was like, holy shit. Like I remember seeing like Frankie Bovino, Justin Hoitzma, a faction before their cars were painted. And they were like just ripping around. It was like one Halloween, I think 2015, Haunted Moves. And they were just fucking going nuts. And I was like, I need to do this. Like, something just pulled me to, I was like, all right, let's fucking go balls deep into this. Like, and it's kind of just been a blur since. I feel like it's just been like go and doing all this crazy stuff and like never have time to really reflect upon it until you're like driving back 18 hours from Wisconsin. And you're like, the fuck do we do this? Like, why are we doing this? It's insane.
I literally had that same thought when I was by myself, hungover, driving on I-5, and like the caravan had already left because I slept at a truck stop for 2 hours, and I'm just like, why do we do this? Like, I don't know, man. But like, I don't know. Sometimes those like long haul road trips, you'll like find some answers or whatever.
Yeah,
I didn't find any answers on that one. I was
like, no clarity whatsoever. Just
yeah, it's just like, I want to go home.
Yeah, I don't know. I started like doing math like on like all of the money I've spent like doing this stupid shit, because I've been trying to get out of my parents' house, and I'm like, I could have been out of here fucking years ago, like if I didn't do this shit. Like, like what am I doing, man? Like flat out. But I can't quit, unfortunately.
No way.
You know, it's not even an option.
No, I mean, like, once you're in, you're in. I don't know, like, so like,
even you see people take like the step on the back burner. They like get married and they have a kid, but they always come back.
Yeah,
it's like
there's different people out there. There's people that like they go off to college and then they come back, or they like do XYZ and they come back, but like not everyone comes back. But you know who's going to. Like, you know the people who like really, really are about it. Like, and I'd say that's like a small group. And I think it's kind of cool because one thing about this podcast is I feel like it's like, it's not that hard to find people who are like down, you know, like
Yeah.
just for the amount of time I've been doing it, or the people that I like have met or whatever. And then like, it's kind of, I think, interesting to people who either like are just getting into it and like hearing the perspective of the people who are like all about it, just like they are, even though they just got into it. I don't know, man. It's, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if you find something where you like kind of fit in, like why would you leave it, you know?
Yeah. And I feel too, like I feel like indebted to drifting, and especially like everyone who's been around me, the people I've met, because since I started, that's kind of like what took me into my career path where I am now. Like if I didn't start drifting, I would have never started tattooing.
Crazy.
So it like kind of brought me into that, because it was like I was exposed to all these people at English Town that were tattooed and had traditional tattoos, and I was like, this is fucking cool. Like I want to go get tattooed. Like,
How old were you when you?
I think I was 19 when I first started coming around. So I wasn't even 21 yet. And I was like hanging out and like seeing like everyone just like tattooed, partying, just going crazy. And I was like, just so attracted to like that subculture aspect of it, that it was like, this is fun. Like, it's not just about going out and winning. Like, that's not even a thought. It's just like, come out, have fun, like party with your friends. Like, I always liked that side more. Like, that's what like I liked the most, where it's like, I feel like kind of we've been doing like some of like the competitions, like, even though Final Bout's kind of lax, but I still feel like that pressure of like, oh, it's a competition until it's over. You know what I mean? It's like, I never really enjoyed that aspect. It was always sort of like, if we're not going out and having fun and like I can't chill with everybody after and like have a few drinks at the bar and like we could have some laughs, like I don't want to be here. Like, that was always what I liked best about it. You know, that's what brings me back.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely a driving. I like the social aspect of it. Like, I find myself like more and more wanting to socialize with people from drifting more than I do in like other environments. I feel it's weird, man. Like post COVID, going to like I went to this like weird like artsy going away party in San Francisco. Like it was like a costume party, and it was like I don't I don't know, man. It was just
Like, what kind of
like
costumes? Like masquerade type shit? Like, what are we talking
no,
about
no,
here?
no,
Like,
no, no, no. It wasn't like we weren't putting our keys in a bowl or anything.
oh
Like
jeez.
no, it was like it was just like it was a bunch of like artsy kids. Like they were all smart, like artsy people like my age or whatever. And I was just like, you know, talking, yeah, oh, what do you know, what do you, and like literally I realized at this point I have like nothing to talk about except for like drifting and stuff that's like kind of related to drifting, because that's like it has like taken over. I think like now that I'm doing this podcast and like also I've been driving a lot, like I literally don't do anything else. And like being around people who like don't have that, like, or at least like some kind of parallel thing, like it's been like weird. It's been like hard for me to like interact.
Yeah. It's like,
Like
what are we even?
I don't even know what to talk about. Maybe I'm getting like more introverted as I get older or something, but
No, I feel that too. I feel that way. I feel like unless I have like some other mutual thing, like right now I'm like more passionate about like, well, I gotta like save some money right now. I gotta move out of my parents' house. So I want to like talk to people that have their shit together. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, how are you like setting yourself up for your future? So I'm like, other than drifting and that, like if there's no other parallel like between us, like I just feel like I'm just gonna like retreat into myself in the conversation, because it's like, what are we talking about here? Like, this is where I'm at in life. Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? Not saying like in a snobby way. It's just like, this is what I'm into. Like, what are you passionate about? Like, is there something? Are you like into fucking whittling. Like, what do you like to do? You know what I mean? Like,
I feel
tell
like
me something cool.
I feel like a lot of people found stuff during COVID. They all like found like something they're kind of into, whether it be like they got a pet or whatever. But it's just like, I don't know. I'm like, I realize like I only have so much time, and like I don't want to spend my time talking to people about like, I don't know, like I don't even have a good example. Just like I'm over small talk like at this point. Like,
Yeah, just like nonsense. Like,
yeah.
And I feel like drifting. I like drifting and the people in it because it's so goal oriented that like you need to be so passionate about something to do it, or else you're never going to do it. And that's what I like in like everything in my life. Like, that's why I love tattooing, because if I didn't give a shit about this tattoo that I have tomorrow and I didn't put my all into it, like, what was even the fucking point? Like, it's the same with drifting. I'm not going to go and spend $4,000 on tires for everything and this and that to get the final bout, like, just for no fucking reason. Like, I wanted to do it. Like, I'm going to do it. And like next year I'll set some goals for like other events. I'm going to go and do them.
Yeah, I think it helps. What were your like inspiration once you started getting into drifting, like what were your inspirations? Like what I don't know. Like what were like cars, people, style, like what was it? Was there anything that stood out to you, I guess is my question. My really long question. I'm still talking. I guess you can answer it now.
No, it's a good question. I feel like I was attracted to, like, once I saw it and realized that like this wasn't just like some Fast and Furious bullshit, that people actually just did this. Like, I thought that was crazy. I'm like, people do this shit? like what the fuck? So I felt like I was always attracted more to like the grassroots local people, and like watching like Bloodmasters videos, like early Turk stuff. Like, I remember seeing your guys' early stuff on Hoonigan, because that's just what I was exposed to in the beginning before everything else. And that was like, oh shit, like this is fucking cool. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, here's like these stylish cars and here's like these missile cars. So I didn't really know at the beginning like what I wanted to drive. I just was like, I need to get out there. I need to get a car to do whatever and learn, and I'll figure that out later. Like, you know, so that was like my main exposure, I think.
What didn't someone tell me you bought some like wild car to learn how to drift in, or am I crazy?
Okay, so I hate to say this, but we're going into this. So my first attempt at buying a drift car was an E30, which that ended up being a wash. I wanted to get like an E30 and eventually like do a 1J swap or something. That's just like where my brain was. But I ended up that fucking washed. I couldn't find an E30. So somewhere in my bright mind, I was like, oh yeah, I'll just get a fucking Fox body. Hey. Terrible idea. Terrible. But I built that car.
Vanilla Ice liked him.
I should have got the vert, man. I would have never gotten rid of it. Fuck, man. But no, it did enough to get me tandeming at Englishtown to that point where I was like chasing everyone. Like, it was like one season of that, and then eventually I was like, I drove someone's S chassis. I think first I drove Petty's BMW. So I drove his 1JU36, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, what the fuck? Like, this thing sounds like a jet. And then like I drove his friend Will Moore's S13. It was an SR, like stock SR 4.6 welded diff, like on 15s. And I was like, this is the fucking truth. Like,
yeah.
And it just like spoiled the whole Mustang idea for me. I was like, well, this thing is fucking done. I need to find an S chassis. So that pretty much led me to the Silvia I have now. So I was like, in the midst of that, I was like, all right, I'm parting out this fucking car. I'm going to go buy this S13.
And you went and bought like a legit Silvia.
Yeah. So that car, it was like already imported. I don't even know if they exist anymore. It was like JDM Expo, like up in Albany. And they already had the car up there. It was like already SR swapped, teen coils, teen 8.6, just like two-way, ready to go. And I was just like, okay. Bought it, went to Englishtown, embarrassed myself, like trying to fucking learn this fucking thing, learn right-hand drive.
Right-hand drive. I think people underestimate how hard it is to switch to right hand drive. Like I watched Jason like the first time he drove right hand drive, like more than like a lap or two on like a difficult course, like struggled, and like Jason is, you know, you've seen the man.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a
Yeah.
fucking machine.
So like learning that, like especially like if you're like just kind of learning too, like I can only imagine how hilarious it was.
Yeah, no, it was not fun. I mean, I'm still like punching the door card every now and then. I don't know what the fuck's going on in that thing, you know, but it's fun. I like driving it. Yeah, no, I feel like that's one of those things you can never unfuck is like where you sit. It's like everything else, like the controls you can manage and figure that out. But like the point of where you are. And I feel like people are always like, well, you're supposed to drive where the car is. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to like zoom my fucking body out? So I'm like above the fucking car. Like I'm playing a video game. Like I'm going to drive where I'm sitting. Like, you know, so that's the hardest part still to me. Like, especially if I'm in a place I don't know, I've never driven before.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
I can see that. Yeah, I've been wanting to get a right-hand drive car to practice in because we go to Japan and if I get in the car, I like always embarrass myself. It's like I know how to drift. Like why is this different, you know? So
yeah, I feel that definitely. If I could go back, I would probably would have just got a left-hand drive car and built that and drove that. But
nah, it's cool.
I do see it now. I like it now. It's just like a little more of a challenge to like overcome. You know,
it's sick. It's a legit Silvia. It's like very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat myself up over that one day when these things are rolling up on Barrett Jackson in 40 years. I'm gonna be like, Jesus Christ, fucking the cage out, fucking weld some new quarters back on. Jeez.
Nah, I mean, because okay, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, actually. But like, if you look, I was watching Barrett Jackson the other day, actually, and it was crazy because, dude, sorry.
No, you're good.
He wants to go outside like multiple times. It's gonna ruin this podcast, and I apologize in advance. But yeah, I was watching Barrett Jackson, and they like rolled up beautifully restored, like vintage dirt bike, right? Went for like 60 grand or something. Jeez. Then they rolled out like a barn find, totally patinaed. It looked like it hadn't been touched in 30 years. And it went for like 120. And I'm like, so patina stuff goes for more now? And I'm like, does that mean like in the future, like drift cars of like a certain variety, like will go for more money? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you just never know, man. We just got to enjoy these things.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I could see it.
But I mean,
it's going to be varying.
Yeah.
You know, like the market will be like, they'll have like the restoration, like this is an original Type X, like 98 Type X with all the options, sunroof and everything. You'd be like perfectly restored or like 100% original. That'll be a market. And then you'll have like the clones. And then you'll have like the drift cars that are like, well, this is Naoki's fucking drift car from like 2001, you know?
Yeah.
Like clobbered ass can. You're like, all right, fucking $500,000.
Right.
Like, who knows?
Yeah, to some kid that saw it in like a funk music video, who's rich now off some weird altcoin.
Dogecoin, fucking, yeah. Oh, fucking, what was the fucking, man, Cum Rockets? That one?
Dude.
That's a good one.
Isn't there like shit coin? Dude.
Yeah, cummies. That's everyone buy cummies. We're pumping cummies like fucking AMC stock. Right? We are the whale. Come on, everybody.
No.
Jeez.
The world's a weird place right now.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I mean, I like crypto. I'm just waiting right now. I think it's gonna fucking dip a little lower.
You know what's really interesting to me is like we have this like someone said, I don't know, there's like some quote like, may you live in interesting times or something. Bro, we should just be happy that we're living in the most interesting times. Like like everything was seemingly falling apart, but like we still like kind of have like it's still okay. Like I don't know. It's like it
Yeah,
seems
that's a
like
good way to look at it. I feel like I've been getting kind of negative lately. I like that outlook. Just like at least it's interesting. Like we're not fucking bored, you know?
yeah. And then you can just like turn all that off and be like, all right. I mean, like I still got a roof over my head and I can go drifting, so that's tight. But like you know, it feels like we got like all this like wild crypto stuff and like I don't know. There's just like a lot to pay attention to. I feel like when you like worked on a farm in like the Depression, that probably sucked. Let's not like say that was better, but like you didn't have to like worry about anything except for like your immediate surroundings and then like maybe like a radio show or whatever where they like you know tell you like what's going on. Like
there's a dust storm blowing in, honey.
Yeah,
Gotta hunker down.
Yeah, all you gotta worry about is like getting the shit to like keep your farm going and like feed everyone on the farm and like make a little money or whatever. Like I don't know how farming works. Like I'm an idiot, so
I
but
don't
like
know either. I have no idea. Sounds
like,
good to me.
But now you live on a farm and you have Facebook and like you see videos of like crazy stuff all the time and like now you're like out there farming and like milking cows and stuff and thinking about like cryptocurrency and like it's just
it's
weird.
Just not even peaceful anymore. It's just fucking ruined everything, the internet.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, like that's your only interaction with reality is like the internet.
That's why I was so stoked on this Facebook, Instagram shit going down. I was like, fuck yes. I like took pictures of this tattoo I did that day. I was like, what do I even do with it? Like, what do I print it out? Like, do I stick it on the wall? I was like, look at this tattoo, Jesse. And like, go to my coworker. I'm like, because no one else is gonna see it except for whoever James walks by on the street. Like, this is awesome. Fucking
the new logo I got done for the podcast. I like just got it and I was like, sick. I'm gonna post this baby up, throw it on IG, and then I was like, Instagram's down. I was like, I mean, all right, whatever. Like I guess I'll just like update it on like the apps. People will see it eventually. Like
like cool phone background, you know? Fucking awesome.
Like who cares? And I was like, but I still checked it like 10 times. I'll admit more than 10 times. It's bad, dude. It's bad. Why?
I checked like 30, bro. I checked like 30 fucking times.
You're like, is it back? Is it back?
Like I didn't want it to come back, but I was like, I was still checking because I'm addicted to Instagram, you know?
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I'll delete the app and install it like twice a day now. That's a problem.
Yeah, you told me before, you're like, I'm deleting Instagram. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I can't say I blame you.
If I have stuff to do, I just like have to delete it. Otherwise, I'll just sit there and be like, boobs, you know, like
fucking cool wheels, bro. Fucking tits.
Sick vinyl.
Oh man, jeez. Yeah, I think we would be better off. I was like looking forward to it. I was like, well, if we don't have social media, and then like let's say the internet collapses, like the entirety of the internet, like that would be fucking awesome, because then we would all have to like do our jobs in the most difficult way possible again. Be like like my girl, she's a travel agent, she sells like cruise packages. I'm like, she's gonna have to get like books and like actually write shit down and like fucking she's gonna have to get a check in the mail. Like how are we gonna even do this? Like we're gonna have to go back fucking 25 years in time, you know?
Yeah, you gotta get like what you know, those like credit card imprinting machines. Have you ever used one of those? Are you old enough to even know what that is?
What are you talking about? What is that?
Oh, damn kids. They used to have a machine. So like the reason the numbers on your credit card have bumps on them and like your name, like you know how like my credit cards now are flat, but they used to have like indented numbers on them. That wasn't so like you could read them easier. That was like so you could put it on this machine and like copy it to a piece of paper.
What the fuck?
And they would use that to like charge people later.
Like a stamp. It would like take a stamp of your card.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to do that at Circuit City like a few times. They like, I'll be like, I need the imprinter, and they'd like come over in the little box and you like set it down, you put the card in it because like it wouldn't scan. Oh, they're like, all the magnets are gone on it. So you're like it's probably like fake card or whatever. Like, because it doesn't charge till later. So I think like people did that to do fraud a lot. I'll just
expired gift card, and you're like, fuck yeah, stamp this shit, new TV, thanks homie. Best Buy sucks.
The Circuit City I worked at like had so much theft. It was like one of the highest theft locations like in the country or something. I don't know. It was whatever. One time I pulled up to work.
I like Circuit City. Circuit City fucking ruled.
I used to pull up to work. I pulled up to work one day. I had a Mercedes 190E. It was like my first car. And I like roll up and like this big ass manager guy who like really didn't like me very much was like, "Hey, Palmer, get that guy." And it was a dude running out with like 2 camcorders. Like throws them in his car and like takes off. And like my boss literally told me to chase this guy down in my car. So I'm like, all right, like so like I I fully like nose to tail chased this guy, and then we got on the freeway, and then he he was heading towards a bridge, and I was like, I'm not paying toll for this. Like,
so like nah, fuck that.
I'd be like, and he was going to like Richmond, Oakland area, and I was like, I'm not. It's like a long bridge. I'm not getting shot over this job. Like I get paid $7 an hour. You know what I mean? I just did it because I thought it'd be funny.
Sun's going down. We are not going to Oakland right now.
Yeah, and this is in like 2006, so it was like, it wasn't like techie Oakland yet.
Yeah, I only got like a little smidge of Oakland Bay Area. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. I only got to see it for like a day.
Yeah,
I would like to go back. I'd like to come back.
Yeah, you tattooed me in the Wolfrain parking lot.
That was fucking crazy. Yeah, that was fucking crazy with like the shipping yard in the back, like.
Yeah.
So nuts.
Yeah, that was cool. Oh, and you tattooed the S on Show Me, right?
Was it there too, or did I do it? I think before? So. No, we did it that day.
Yeah, she gets compliments on that all the time.
I love that fucking tattoo.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's like my favorite tattoo.
She got like the S, like the like high school, middle school S that everyone drew like on her arm.
And I love how she was like, she presented the idea, and she's like, I don't know if you're gonna like go for it, but like I want to, the S that like everyone used to draw in middle school, and I was like, say fucking less. I'm like, let's go. I was so hyped. She's like, oh man, like I didn't think you were gonna like the idea. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is amazing. Oh man, no, that was cool, bro. That was fucking cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Did you go straight to California from New York?
So I went to like an event at Englishtown, and that was like I tattooed out of the trailer. I left pretty much from there. I headed to Thunderhill, and then after that was like crashed at Julian's and bombed at Julian's for like a week, which that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still think about it now because I was like, I wish I never left. I was like, I want to move fucking in there, man. That house rocks.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, we had some fun there too, man.
We did.
I don't know if we could talk about that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
I mean, he kind of brought it up. We don't need to go into detail, but
did he bring it up? Did he?
Well, he didn't talk about that time specifically, but he did like mention it. I don't know, whatever. We definitely we went on a journey.
Now there's an elephant in the room. Like everyone's like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
Some might even call it a trip.
Oh man,
it was a trip. Unquote. It was a trip. We'll just say that.
Yeah, we drank some lemon juice and we lifted weights. We got a quick pump in. That was fucking interesting.
That was key. That was key. I think that was important.
Yeah, we were like benching fucking 45 fucking on each side. We were like, hell yeah. Yeah, that was pretty crazy because I felt like, I don't know, I felt like, I mean, I knew of you guys, but I, like at the time I wasn't like friends with you yet. So I felt kind of worried in that sense because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, like maybe they'll like, I don't know, make fun of me when I'm like in this state of mind or something. Like, you know, when like all that paranoia starts to hit and you're like,
Yeah.
that's what I, but like that kind of quickly faded because I saw like me and you were on the same level of like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah. 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 That, yeah. Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm not in this alone. Like we're all gonna, but we're gonna make it through. And we did.
Yeah,
It
we
was a
did
good
it.
time.
We got through.
Yeah.
I remember like Phoebe was like, "Oh, you were just laughing and smiling the whole time." I'm like, "That was out of fear. That wasn't like pleasure laugh, like ha 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 laugh. That was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that? Like, the only thing I can do right now is laugh and like pretend that isn't there." Like,
yeah.
yeah, I remember sitting there and I was like desperately like trying to like ask for water and I just couldn't get it out of my mouth. I was just sitting there, mad awkward, like suffering, like in silence. I was like, finally, I just spit out. I'm just like, water. And Phoebe's like, do you want water, Bryan? Like, are you asking for water? And I was like, yes. And she's like, okay. And like throws me a water bottle. I like crack it open. I take a sip and like old man, like fucking King of the Hill shit, like sipping a beer, like, yup. That's the good stuff right there. Like,
I remember that. I remember you're like, what? You're like, what's that? My body needs it. Water. It's like, yeah, nice.
what's that
yeah,
thing? Like, hell yeah. Yeah, that's it, Bryan. Fuck yeah. Fucking. No, it was an interesting time. I definitely took a lot out of that over any other like situation similar that I've been in.
Yeah, I'm sure you weren't like expecting that to be a thing. As you came out here, you like come out, we're like talk about drifting, we go drifting. Instead, you got like a whole different life experience.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. I was like, I don't know how to explain it. There was just like so many weird things. I feel like anytime you ask someone about this kind of shit, it's like you can't explain to someone and them to understand like where you were at, like even where your head was at versus where mine was. It's like, how can I portray that to you? Like, you just sound like a fucking space cadet. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this kid talking about? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were all just like, huh, that was an experience. Like, say no more, you know?
yeah, yeah,
like no one really needed to comment much on it. It was just like, all right.
yeah. I don't know. There's so many. The biggest thing I remember taking from it I remember sitting there and I was like, I kept fucking fiddling with my hair because my hair was like dumb long at the time. And I had like a lighter and I would like twirl the lighter and I'd pick up a water bottle. I would like do these things. And it just like, the biggest thought to me was, well, this is something I know. Like, I know that this is a lighter. I know that this is a can. Like, these are grounds. Like, these things bring me back to this place, which is supposed reality. But like at that point in time, I'm standing on the borderline of like the fucking universe. And I was like, well, what if I just go here and I don't come back? Like, then like Phoebe and fucking Julian will just have to like bring me to an insane asylum and put me in a straitjacket and just call it a day. And I'll just stay here. Like, I was like, maybe I should go back. Like, that's kind of fucked up, you know? Like, kind of like scarred for everybody involved. Like, hey, remember that kid Bryan? Like, he's fucking crazy now. Like,
Yeah, well, it's okay because that's yeah, the feeling was mutual, dude. But
yeah,
it was, yeah, I don't know. We're all just like trying to do our best, man. We're all trying to like find purpose and acceptance, and gotta like, you know, appreciate that shit doesn't really matter as much as we think it does a lot of the
Yeah.
time. So
No, that's like the best part about that shit is you realize like everything that's happening right now, like this is what matters, like in your life, what you can control. Versus like, I mean, even now, like since that point in time, my brain is like cluttered with nonsense. Like where like right after that was done, I felt like clean slate. Like I hit the reset button. I wasn't thinking about anything like other than, well, I'm here. I'm in California. I'm like gonna have a good time. Like, you know, like nothing else in the world mattered at that point in time, which I think that's pretty fucking cool about that, you know?
yeah. Yeah. And it's a fucking wild story. Like,
yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. Went out there, thought I was just gonna like hang out, then like, you know, fucking 20 minutes later, like I don't even know how to say my own name.
Jesus fucking Christ. It was nuts too. Like I just remember like blacking out, and you guys told me like, hey Bryan, you were freaking out a little bit. You're definitely freaking out. And I remember it was just like, I remember the sun was out and then it was just darkness. And I was outside looking at the stars, which up there in like Sonoma, it's fucking beautiful. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever been like more happy in any place ever. Like perfect temperature, like quiet in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like I love that area up there.
Yeah. I was just watching Animal Planet and wondering what it's like to be a dolphin.
Yo. So that shit, not gonna lie.
Planet Earth, I think.
Planet Earth, or like
tied to be a dolphin.
Who was that fucking guy?
Dolphins
that
get to drift all
show?
day, dude. I don't know the old guy. I don't remember his name, but he's
that
like
guy
super famous.
Saved my fucking life, bro. I'm not even kidding you. Like he like pulled me back to reality, like straight up. I remember like that key point. It was like everything we did made so much sense in that point in time. We're like these dolphins, they're just out here, they're just fucking shredding in the water. They're like,
yeah,
they don't give a fuck. They're just like
clapping
them in with the homies.
Dude, they're out there clapping dolphin cheeks like for fun.
Oh my god.
Like watch this backflip, dude. What? That's your day? You like swim around, look. Well, I mean, I guess like you're probably like looking out for predators and stuff, so that's probably not as cool. But like
big fucking shark or something. Like let's not get eaten.
yeah.
Oh man.
But like when it's cool, you know. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that was an experience. One would say,
cool, man.
It was a trip.
One would say that, quote unquote. Yeah, I had an opportunity by the time I got to Vegas. Like someone was like, "Hey, you want to like try some like DMT?" And I was like, "Nope." I was like, I'm still processing some shit. Like I'm gonna need a few months, bro. Like got a lot of fucking questions that need answers right now. Not the time.
Yeah, so you went to Vegas after like Grange and then like tattooed out of there for like a while. Did you like do any drifting stuff out there, or you just like working, put money back in the bank? Or
well, like after I went down to Grange, leaving Thunder Hill, my front tires were completely fucking bald. Like after like driving on that track, my show was done. And I like realistically should have known better, but I have no self-control and went and drove anyway. And ended up, you probably saw the video, me smoking myself into the wall, just head on. I was just like,
yeah,
car was fucked.
Well, I've done it.
So I was like not only broken and battered, but like the car was fucked. I was out of money. I was like, okay, like I need to figure something out. Like I didn't imagine the trip really going that way, but then again, there was no fucking plan. So really it didn't matter. But I ended up, my sister moved out to Henderson in Nevada like 2.5 years ago now. So I was like, all right, I'll get back there. Like I'll visit them like earlier than imagined. And I'll like hang out for like a few weeks, like try to find a shop to work at, like make some money. So I ended up getting down there, surprising her, saw my niece and nephew. So that was fucking cool. And like, I ended up staying down there for like a month and a half, which that was pretty interesting. No drifting really, because it was like, I think they have some stuff going on, but at the time, because of COVID, like they didn't have anything. I think it may be Vegas Motor Speedway. They have like some parking lot stuff going on, but the drift community out there, at least from what I've seen, is not that strong. You know, there's like there are
Interesting.
like a few people that are like into this and that. There are a few people that like drive at Grange from Vegas, but there's not that many.
Yeah,
Like
'cause I think Grange is only like 2.5 hours from Vegas or something.
it's a nice trip. Like it's not gonna like it's something you could do on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
it seems like it'd be pretty ideal. But there wasn't really that many people out there like that were like directly involved in going down there. But yeah, I guess by the time I got down to Vegas, I was like, well, I need to figure out a shop to work at. So I was like calling around, like looking around on internet. Like I talked to my like previous boss at the time, Rob White, and I was like, who has a traditional tattoo shop like down in Vegas? And he was like, well, Buddy Holiday has like his shop down here. And then, well, Phil Lux like got a shop down there. And I was like, oh shit, like Phil Lux, like this is a dude I was reading books about during my apprenticeship. Like how do I paint tattoo flash? Like this is the fucking guy. Like everyone was like, model your shit off of him. So it was like, oh man, like he's not gonna fucking hire me. Like there's no way. So I was like, but fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. Like, so I like scrapped together a portfolio because I didn't even have one because everything was just on Instagram at the time, and I didn't anticipate to go and walk into someone's shop. Ended up I like went down there asking him for a tattoo because that's always my thing. I'm like, hey man, you got time for a tattoo? Like, and like get to know him that way. Like if I sit there for long enough and have somebody tattoo me, like I could probably get them to want me to hire, like let me work in their shop, you know? Yeah. So I went down there and like, he didn't tattoo me that day, but he ended up looking through my portfolio and he was like, I don't have any work to give you, but like, you're more than welcome to work here if you could pull people in, but like, I don't have enough like people of like my own to share with you. So it's just like, yeah. But I was like, fuck yeah, I don't care. Like I'll figure something out.
Yeah. Like you're not getting any walk-ins. You're going to have to do your own thing.
Yeah. So like what I did, I ended up setting up my Tinder with like all tattoo shit. It's like, yeah. So this was like, it worked fairly well, except for the amount of dudes trying to have sex with me. It worked out pretty okay, you know, because I set it for like everyone, like, yeah, all right, we're gonna set this to all, but I didn't even have a picture of me in there. It was just like varying, like this is an anime tattoo, this is American, this is Japanese, like here's some clever, fucking lettering, and like, but it worked out pretty good because I felt like there's a lot
out of town people, you get in town people. It's clever.
Yeah, you got a lot of people, and you got people that I feel like have been scared to go and talk to someone who tattoos because I guess it's still that stigma of like, okay, this is like not a welcoming place. Like I should be kind of worried walking into a tattoo, which I think that's kind of cool that still exists. Yeah. I'm glad that still exists because like
you don't want everyone to be like, welcome.
Yeah, no, it's just like this isn't fucking.
This
Costco.
Is our Disney princess section.
Yeah, no.
This is
like
this.
Keep tattooing scary, you know. I think it should stay a little scary.
You don't want it to be the Costco like optometry section.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it's getting like there's plenty of people out there doing that. Like I don't have to do it, you know. Yeah. But it was cool. I felt like I got a lot of like first tattoos, and I pulled like a decent amount of people from there, at least to like put some money in my pocket. Like while I stayed at my sister's, like had the trailer parked out front. Yeah. Like I stayed in there because my fucking AC was stronger in there than in their house. I was like, you're just going to sleep in the street? I'm like, yeah, like that's why I built this thing. Like,
yeah, you did that at Julian's too.
For a few nights. And then I realized like I was kind of blowing up his spot with the neighbors. And they were like, one day when I was crashing down there, someone like violently knocked on the fucking door.
Yeah.
Because I was parked like there's like all those like group community of mailboxes.
Yeah, they like that's the one downside of where Julian's at is they really do not want people out there. Like, yeah. Especially trailers and yeah.
Yeah, they're like, I don't need this fucking eyesore, which I get. Like you spent like whatever $1.4 million on your home to like get away from assholes like me. Like, and here I am, you know what I mean? Like fucking dude's just wandering around sleeping wherever the fuck he wants. Like what the fuck is that? It's like I wasn't mad about it, but like the thing I was mad, they ended up like hanging like garbage on my trailer like assuming it was mine. I'm a cleanly motherfucker. Like I did not leave any garbage, but they like I guess someone like had some garbage fall out somewhere and they're like assumed it was me. And like they left a note and stuff. And like by that time, I think I was already like 6 days at Julian's. I was like, I've overstayed my welcome here. Like I can't keep abusing this hospitality. I was like, I gotta go. Like as much as I wanted to stay there forever, honestly, because I was like, you want to talk about drift commune? I feel like that's a drift fucking commune. It's like, you know, like
yeah, kind of
cool, happy fucking drift place, like middle of nowhere. I liked it. I don't know. I was like, I could see myself living out here. I was like, but then I'm gonna have to join like. I'm gonna have to try to convince them to let me join Animal Style, and like Front Street's gonna fucking ban me. We were talking about last time I saw you. You were like, "Why is everyone trying to like adopt you guys, like be your dads?" And I was like, "The only people who aren't adopting us, who we wanted to adopt us, is fucking you guys. Like, we should be your bastard stepchildren, you know?" Jeez.
I find it entertaining. You guys' dynamic. Someone described Front Street as like the drift game Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh man, I mean,
because there's just like hella motherfuckers that like and like where you're from and like it's just
who's fucking who? Nobody even knows who's who.
Yeah,
like
I found that so fitting and glorious.
Yeah, like everybody knows Tom and everyone knows Josh, but after that, it's like, who's this person? Like this guy's got the fucking yellow car and this dude's and then there's this fucking donkey style shit, which is like, what the fuck is that? Like, what even is going on here? But I like it that way. I feel like it should be. I'd rather be like the sleeper cell. Like, I don't want all this fucking attention. Like, give the attention to Tom. Like, I don't want that shit.
Actually, like, I kind of you know who stepped up at like Final Bout, who was like driving a lot, was James. Like, I haven't seen him like throw down like that before. It was pretty cool to watch him like level up at that event.
Yeah, he drove like a fucking beast. I drove terrible, but I was like mad hyped that James was driving well because I was like, damn, like James stepped his fucking game up. Like, I feel like because he went from like the GT1 and I think he had like 30 mil overs to like going full blown Koguchi power with the fucking BN, and it was like,
yeah,
I was like, damn.
Car showed up wild clean and he was like throwing down. It was cool. It's cool to watch.
Well, it was like he went from like last in show at Special Stage East. I think they were like, they shit on his car so bad. They were like, we were like, James, what the fuck? And he ended up like getting clapped by Josh. And it was like, all right, he needed a makeover anyway. He was like, I'm like, it's time, bro. Just time to go fucking big monster truck that thing. And he did really good. No, we were super proud of him. He definitely was like the MVP, at least for us, like at Final Bout. Everybody else was like kind of meh on the driving.
I mean, Jeff was ripping. He drove like a ton. But yeah, I mean, everybody drove well. It was just team tandem time was a little rough for you guys, but whatever.
I drove fucking terrible.
It happens to us too. Like,
yeah, I was not happy. I was like, whatever. I just like, it's all good though. That's part of it. I was just happy to see everybody else driving good, like Julio and everybody else was fucking shredding. It was just dope, you know, like seeing like the collective of everyone. So it's like, even if you're doing bad or like things are going wrong, you can't be mad about it. It's like, it's only a matter of time.
It was nice to see that the level of driving was like a little like on average was higher. Like everybody from all the different regions like were driving pretty well. Like, I don't know, it was sometimes Final Bout will have the reputation of like being like show cars first, which it is, right? Like, yeah, but it's still, it's like show car and driving now. Like they're like doing the judging. So it's like 50-50, which, you know, take it how you want. But like, that's what they want. Right. And it's like, it does kind of get you some like good driving and some cool cars, right? Like in the mix. So, and that's what they want. So, I mean, it seems to be a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think they found their little pocket and like what we're into, and that like 1% of like what we're into, because I feel like that's really what it's come down to, because there's so much shit going on. But it's
Yeah.
like,
Dude, there's room for everything, man. Like there's room for Super D, there's room for Final Bout, there's room for like all the other events that are going on. I don't know if you remember, but like when you were first starting out, I know you have you been drifting like what, like 5, 6 years now?
about 6 years now. Yeah, about
Yeah,
six
like
years.
when you first started out, I know you realize that, like, I mean most people probably realize that drift, but people who are just starting out, like there used to be like one event a month, maybe, maybe two total. Like now there's like 20, like, because this person's hosting events and that person's hosting events and all the tracks are like rented out. It's anywhere that like host drifting in like the West Coast, like there's footage from an event like every weekend on IG. It's crazy. Like it didn't used to be like that. Like drifting is
Yeah,
growing a lot.
yeah. I guess we're like spoiled now in the sense, like everyone who's come up recently, because it's like there's so much out there that like, I mean, it's kind of bothered me to the extent that, at least with what's with us going on, like on our team, that we're doing all these big things and all these big events, and there's no, I like collectively been like, man, I should have just like stayed local. Like next year, like I'm staying local. Like I want to
You're
drive
gonna
like
drive a
8 events.
Yeah.
Like this year I drove 2 events. I'm done. Like I spent my cap. Like I can't keep
Yeah.
drifting this year. You
Yeah.
know, I think it would be smarter for me. I think I would get much better, and I could like up the levels of like chasing and all these things that I want to do if I just stayed and did like these few local events with Lock City and Club Loose and Spirit, and did that, and like and actually got dialed in. I feel like that'd be like better spent. But I don't regret what we do. I don't regret doing these big events. I just think it's kind of a balance of like, if you
Yeah.
do this, if you do a final bout, you're traveling from California or fucking New York or Canada, wherever, Texas, wherever you're coming from, that like that's equal to like 4 to 5 events back home for you. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah,
that's just
you gotta make sure it's worth it. But sometimes they like on the flip side of that, sometimes going to those events where if there are a lot of really good drivers to look up to, and that raises your bar of like, this is what good driving is, and then now you're chasing something up here, like those events are worth it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
if you got to have that balance, you got to travel like a little bit, you got to like go to the events and drive with like good people, or even just watch them, right? And then you got to be able to do the local events, and like, you know, like that's your like, I don't know, like you can't just go do the boxing match on pay-per-view and not do training. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, that makes sense. And I think you're right on the fact that like if you stay in your little bubble back home, like you're never going to be exposed to like what's really out there.
yeah, and you're not gonna get like the variety of experience with like this track has this type of grip and like changing tire pressure based on like, like if you just drive the same place all the time, you like your setup's money, but like you go somewhere else, you don't know how to adjust your car to like drive better at other places. Like that's one thing I really found driving at a lot of different tracks is showing up and be like, there's my car is driving like shit. I know what I need to change though, versus just like my car sucks and then you just like drive shitty the whole day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's like a big challenge in it. And I think, like you said, it's going to push you as like a driver. It's going to push you like technically in the mechanical side. Like
Yeah.
when I got to Thunder Hill and I was like trying to enter, I remember like I kept just plowing straight, and I was like, Julian's like, how's it going out there? I'm like, fucking terrible. I suck. Like I fucking suck. He's like, what's going on? Talk to me. I'm like, I go to fucking truck this thing as hard as I can and it just plows straight. He's like, well, you have a fucking parachute mounted to your fucking trunk. He's like, take that shit off.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, dummy. Like, take that fucking big wing off. I like took it
Yeah.
off. Like
on the high speed stuff, like GT wings, just you like that's why they all do e-brake entry. People that run big GT wings, like they always e-brake entry because you can't do like you can, but it like it makes stuff feel weird at high speed.
yeah,
But yeah, stuff like that, like experience. And the reason he knows that is because when Naoki went to New Zealand for the Pink Style event that D Club threw, D Club GP, D Club GP, Pink Style GP. I don't know. I can't remember what the name of the event was, but those dudes. He drove the C's Garage shop car, and at the time, the C's Garage shop car had an Origin. I think it was like one of those like swan neck wings, or it was similar to the one that you have.
Big old, big gay wing.
I mean, I think they're cool. I like
No,
them.
I love it.
But first run, he goes out and then comes right into the pits and just like he's like looking around in the tools and stuff and like starts taking the wing off and then goes back out and like throws like gnarly stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he did it. And then like also Jason had to do it on the car that he drove when we went out there. Like, it's just like when you get up in those speeds, you're like adding all this downforce to the back of the car and it like doesn't want to rotate. Like, it doesn't want to let go to rotate because you have so much more like rear grip and you can't like do a lot to get rid of it. Like, you can't like lift off and have like when you lift off, the weight doesn't come off the back of the car because it's being like
it's
pushed
still
down.
just being pushed down.
Yeah. So it doesn't want to transition. Little stuff like that, man. I look at it like this. I'm going to use like boxing again as an example because I feel like I have a good way to explain this. But like a seto is like your cardio, your like gym stuff, you're like hitting pads or whatever. And then like your local events, that's like sparring, right? You know, like you got to spar and like you got to like actually do the shit. And then those like big events that you toe to, that's like those are your matches, like those are your fights. And like
it's like the title fight right there.
Yeah, and I mean, like, obviously, let's not take this shit too seriously. Like, we don't need, you don't need to come up in there like McGregor and like, you know what I mean?
Arm swinging, fucking
every single fight. Like, I'm the shit. Fuck you. Like we don't need that. But
that would be kind of fucking funny, though. Oh man.
So, especially like rolling up to like final bout like that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be like chest out. Yeah. Like,
relax, bro.
Like it, like, pull up with it. Like, yeah, whatever.
I got you. No, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, I see you got a setup behind you, like, but we've never played, so like.
No, I'm fucking lacking, bro. I don't even use this fucking thing.
Yeah, that's the trick.
Let me show you real quick. This is why I don't use this.
Oh yeah.
Too bouncy. I need to make a new fucking stand for this thing, and then I'll start putting it into good use.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, it's just like
he like touched the steering wheel and it bounced like 5 inches up and down.
Like you forget to like tighten up the fucking steering column. It's just like fucking Jesus Christ. Like, what's happening with this thing? No, I need to put it to good use. I've been thinking about it too, especially now that I'm like kind of like taking like this small hiatus till like at least next spring to be like, well, I need to do something to get that muscle memory in.
Yeah, during wintertime, just play like, play with us. Get on like, even Jason will go on by himself and just play in like random servers all the time. He'll have like 30 minutes between, he's like the busiest dude ever. So like,
yeah.
Oh, I got 15 minutes between like school and my internship and like cooking dinner and like, doing 40 other things that he's doing. But he'll just jump on and like jump in some random server and play for like a little bit, you know what I mean? And we're all like, I was terrible when I started. I'm still terrible. Like, I can kind of tandem. I can link the course like most of the time, but it really does help. And I know I'm like these kids that are coming up that are like really good right out of the bat. I see them, man. Like, I see them on Discord. They're playing like every night, And it's like, you can't compete with that. Like, we're not going to be able to compete with that if we're driving 3 times a year. I used to be like that. I used to drive twice a year because I'd like want to only do the big events. And I just didn't have the time or the money to do like a lot of driving. And I didn't have the trailer and I didn't have the truck. So I was like, I had to like do all this crazy stuff to try and figure out how to get my car from like wherever it was living at the time to the track and like all this stuff. And it was just like the thought of all that made me never want to drive. And then so like the only thing that got me motivated was like the bigger, cooler events.
Yeah.
And like if you can set yourself up so that you can drive like the low key ones and just be cool with it being low key, you know, and like I don't know, I'm starting to like find that rhythm, and it's like it pays off. Like you get out of stuff what you put in, 1,000%. Like school, whatever, you know, like tattooing.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, like I've seen like since you tattooed me, like your progression has been great because you're doing it constantly.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, that's why I like that stuff, because it's like everything that's in my life, like what we do, like the progression is infinite. And it's interesting, like you said, that these kids that are coming up, like they're already fucking next level. Like, what's Naoki's son gonna be doing in fucking 10 years? You know what I mean? Like, what are these kids
we're not
gonna
ready
be
for
doing?
that.
No, like we're gonna be left in the dark. We're gonna be like the fucking dusty old men that are like, back in my day, in fucking 2018 Super D Grange, fucking Naoki came, made everyone shit their pants. Be like we're gonna just sound like a bunch of crockety old shits in a few years. And these kids are gonna be so good. They're gonna be so fucking good, and like that gets me hyped though, because I love that. I love like bringing people in and like helping these kids out that are starting. My nephews asked me the other day. They're like, one of them was talking to me. He's fucking 9. My nephew Owen. He goes, Uncle Bryan, when I get older, I want a 240SX or a Nissan S15. And I'm like, well, you better buy one now, buddy, because they keep going up, and you definitely ain't getting mine. I'm like, well, like this fucking kid, these kids, they got
like what you need to do is you need to buy some. You need to like learn how to trade cryptocurrency at like 9 years old, and then like get super rich, because by the time you're old enough to drive, these cars are going to be at Bear Jackson, homie. Like,
here's the thing, son. Fucking get your pennies together. The government's out of money October 18th. Buy as much gold, silver, and fucking Bitcoin as you can, because this shit's going to the moon. All right. Then you buy your S15. You're like, oh man. Yeah. Disclaimer, not financial advice. I don't want to be the reason for your ruin.
If anyone takes financial advice from something called the Goodest cast, like
the Goodest advice.
Imagine being in court for that. They're like, so you're suing the Goodest cast for losing all your money on Dogecoin.
They told me to invest all my money into cum buckets. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did that to Josh. Because I was doing pretty good, like in the beginning of the year, like the shit was in a bull run, like I was doing pretty good in crypto, and like towards the end of it, I was like, yo, Josh, like the shit just took a dip. It was like the slightest little baby dip. I was like, you should buy in, like this shit's going on. He's like, all right, yeah. Threw some money at it. As soon as I tell him this, like everything just went to fucking hell. I was like, he's hitting me up. He's like, yeah, I'm still holding. I'm like, everyone says to hold. I'm like, I sold everything. Like, fuck, man, I'm sorry, bro. Like,
but it's like super up today, so whatever. You never know, man. Who cares?
It's gambling. It's like, don't put money in.
It's for sure gambling. It's gambling.
Yeah.
All of this is gambling. Like day trading, fast money on the crypto market. It's all gambling, man.
Yeah. Unless you're an insider and you have like this fucking guy who's like telling you like, oh yeah, like all these big fucking whales, we're gonna pump fucking this bullshit stock today. Like, you should buy it, like sell it tomorrow because it's gonna crash. Like, unless you have that insider info, like it's fucking pure gambling. Like, we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Like,
dude,
I mean, who knows?
Whatever.
You're better off rolling a fucking CeeLo roll for like 10 grand, like some craziness, you know?
What's
like,
a CeeLo roll?
What is CeeLo? You didn't play CeeLo? We didn't play CeeLo?
No.
You like 3 dice.
When you guys play dice? Everywhere?
Yeah, so CeeLo, you got 3 dice. Automatic win if you get 4, 5, 6. It's an automatic loss if you get 1, 2, 3. And then let's say you get a denomination, you get like 2 1s, you get like snake eyes, and you get a 6. Your score is 6. So if you get like 2 3s and a 5, your score is a 5. So like highest number wins. 4, 5, 6 beats a 6. So like that's just our degenerate gambling. Like every time we go somewhere, someone's got dice. We're like, dollar roll. Like,
what do you mean if someone has dice? I've never seen you guys anywhere not playing dice.
Oh yeah, we all have fucking dice. I literally, my boy Joey Long, he makes a bunch of like stuff out of leather, and he made me like a little pouch. He makes these little pouches that like hold your dice. I keep that shit on my keychain. Like, I don't even gamble that much, but like if you want to gamble, let's fucking gamble. You know what I mean?
Sure. I want to play with you guys next time.
Well, I was tight. I was like, this Saturday, I never realized that like I've been trying to be better this year and not party like crazy like the night before like a big event.
Yeah.
So I was like, we took it easy on Friday night in Wisconsin, figuring like, oh, we'll go to Longhorns tomorrow, which like next day Longhorns was closed. And I was like, fuck, like I blew it, man. I fucking blew it. Like,
you didn't miss that much. It was like, okay, so for those who don't know, Longhorns is like a bar that's in Shawano, Wisconsin. Shawano, the Colt town. You know the Colt sold the racetrack? They're the ones that used to own it.
Wait.
They used to own US Air.
What fucking cult? There's a cult?
You didn't know about the Colt town?
What kind like a culty cult? Like
they dress like Amish and stuff. Like it's wild, dude.
But like
they own like a bunch of stuff in town. They own like a couple of the gas stations, and they own like a bunch of property there. And they used to own US Air. They're the ones that sold it.
Are they a cult or are they just Amish?
No, they're like a legit cult. There's like a bunch of stuff on it. Like Ken Gucci sent me the article because we were drinking beers at the hotel, and like he's like, did you ever read about it? And I was like, no. And he like sent me the article, and I read like front to back because it got super. Because we were talking about Simba had like told me about it in passing, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, Shawano is a cult town.
Like, are they like sacrificing animals and doing some weird shit?
I think you got to like be part of the cult to like know what happens in the cult. Like,
of course.
Yeah. That's like I don't know if they're like
one of cultiness.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking. Did you see that Midsummer movie? It's like, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it because it's literally spelled like Midsommar.
No, I didn't see
Midsummer. That's some fucking cult shit. That's what I'm imagining. Just some like freak shit, fucking human sacrifice. Like, let's get weird. I don't know.
I have no idea, but all I know is like they're around and they're like probably all knowing, all seeing, and like they're like whatever. Hey, dude, they let drifting come to their town. Like, they're cool with me.
Worship the cheese curd god.
Anyway, Longhorn is the bar that everybody goes to. I probably shouldn't tell everyone. Who cares? Like, I feel like it's like known now, but like that's like the one bar that everybody goes to. And this year, everyone went. Like, it's like you never know which night is going to be the night where like everyone, like it's just a little bar in the middle of nowhere, and like it's like literally like the entire event is like at the bar, getting faded.
And it's like the perfect dive bar. Like, I love dive bars. It's just like, I literally don't think I've ever spent more than $30 there. And every time I leave, like, I don't remember leaving. So
yeah,
pretty good bar.
Yeah. I mean, so like Friday was cool. It wasn't like the last couple years. Like the time when your friend ran in the like donkey mask all the way from like across the bar face first into the punching machine. It was not like that. It wasn't like the year where someone put DMX on and hurt, like punched the punching machine right when the beat dropped and it went to like it did, the machine just shattered. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, so at least we didn't miss out much. Yeah, no, the year that Johnny ran in with the mask, that was a fucking crazy one. That was, I think the year before that you were describing, that was my first Longhorns experience where the one you're talking about with the DMX beat drop with Hurt. I woke up, a fucking 18-wheeler passes. Wah! I wake up like head pounding, and I'm looking at like a house, and I'm like, where the fuck am I right now? I'm in the back seat of my truck. I'm like looking around, I'm like freaking out. And like finally I turn around and I realize I'm literally parked right in front of the bar. Like, I slept in my truck. And now I'm like, where the fuck are my keys? Like, I'm still drunk. It's like 6 a.m. I'm like scrambling. I can't find my keys. I'm calling Josh. I'm calling Tom. I'm calling Chris. Like, where the fuck are my keys? Like, and Josh is like, finally answers me back. He's like, you have your keys, you dumb fuck. Like, you wouldn't give them to me. Like, you refuse to give them to me. Like finally found them like buried under the seat. Like I was like, one of you has to come. Like you guys got to come pick. Like I can't drive to the hotel. Meanwhile, the hotel is like a mile down the road. I'm like blacked out still. I'm like crazy. That was my first Longhorns experience. Apparently, Josh said I was like walking in the bar with like a joint in my mouth, like smoking in the bar. Like everyone was like,
yeah, I remember that.
The fuck is this kid doing? Like, what's wrong with this person? Which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
I would have, if I was a local cult leader, I would probably get rid of me. But
yeah, you're probably on a list somewhere. There's like a picture of you on like the cult like bad people board. Like a little like thumbtack in it. Like
this guy sucks. He's gotta go. Fucking first on the list.
They spiked your drink is what happened, dude. The cult spiked your drink.
Yeah, so I guess that second experience, I don't want to name drop anybody, but we're gonna just say a hypothetical someone from a random Japanese drift team. We ended up, me and my friend Johnny, who had the donkey mask, who like ran into the wall. We ended up like having the best fucking blunt session of our entire life, smoked with this said member of drift team. And he has not had like good weed in his entire fucking life. Like this dude took 2 hits and I saw him back in the fucking bar, Longhorn sitting at the table, like contemplating his existence. He was like just flat out not having a good time, bro. He was just like,
they don't get that club stuff out there. They get like some hay bale weed. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like because weed's so illegal there. Like you can get other drugs, I guess, in Japan, but you can't get fucking weed. Like that's like, oh no, that's fucking the devil's lettuce. Can't be smoking that shit.
Bringing dishonor to the country.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good time. Definitely check that one off the bucket list. Even like members of like our team that like don't smoke anymore, like who used to, like they had to take it because they were like, well, this is a once in a lifetime fucking opportunity here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like we gotta join in. I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Like, fucking so good. I love Longhorns. That place rocks.
The punching machine's gone.
They knew better. I mean,
I think it got sold. They sold it or something. So there's like, it's like a new owner or something.
How much money is a good solid punching machine go for nowadays? Like,
no, they sold the bar.
Oh, the bar, not the punching machine.
Yeah, I think the bar, everything in that town is for sale, I guess, man.
How much to buy Shawano? How many dollars? Yeah, Shawano.
For the whole state.
You keep saying that, Shawano. It's Shawano.
Shawano.
Well, you claim that their fucking Taco Bell is the best Taco Bell in the world. I didn't get to try it last time.
It's pretty good. This time, I don't know, dude. They must have sold it or something because like it was this time. I like talked it up a bunch, and then it was like kind of whatever.
No love. They lost their love.
Yeah,
so sad. Yeah, I mean, I've collectively like stopped eating fast food, but I refuse to give up Taco Bell. That's my fucking vice.
The podcast that Julian and I did. So I did the one with Phoebe, and then like reset everything up with Julian. But in between that, we shotgunned like 4 beers before we started. I didn't like say that. Like in like 10 minutes.
What's the one where Michael was in the engine bay the whole time?
No, it was the most recent one.
Oh, okay.
Like after that, like literally towards the end of the podcast, I kept interrupting Julian because like I literally just could. I was smoked, and then right after we were done, Phoebe's like, "You guys want to go to Taco Bell?" And we're like, "Yes!" I literally smashed some Taco Bell and like fell asleep in that chair that I was like hanging out in that one time. And then woke up at like 2 in the morning.
In their room?
Yeah.
That chair?
Yeah.
That's a good chair.
It is a good chair.
What's your go-to Taco Bell? What's your choices?
Cheesy gordita crunch, probably.
Of course. That's fucking given. Like,
Crunch
you're not getting that. Crunch Wrap?
Yeah.
So, did you ever look up Taco Bell's secret menu?
I didn't.
Pretty quality.
Is it?
You can get a quesadilla, go to Taco Bell, get a quesadilla, double grilled. Ask for a double grilled. They're gonna ask, you're gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But like, I want that shit double grilled. And they get that shit crispy. So it's like that like floppy dick quesadilla. Sometimes like no one wants that. Like fucking they double grill that shit. I think there's a bunch of other weird ones. Like you could put the Baja sauce like in any other orientation of taco.
I mean, Taco Bell is pretty much just the same ingredients and like different like arrangements.
Like cheesy gordita crunch with a Dorito taco. There's another one.
I've had that. Yeah,
that's a banger.
Sometimes
it's literally the same thing. It's all the same thing. They just mix and match bullshit. It's like this one's fucking hard. This one's soft. They all make you shit your pants. It's You a Baja Blast guy?
I don't drink soda.
Yeah, I don't drink soda either.
I don't drink soda anymore. I used to be I used to be like one of those kids that'll like drink like a 2-liter soda and like eat like a box of Cheez-Its and like play video games all night.
That was me too. Mountain Dew and Cheez-Its.
I was pretty chubby back then though.
Were you? You were a chubby kid?
Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
Were you always tall, or was that like a late bloomer thing?
Yeah, I was always tall. I was like chubby and tall, and like the dude that worked at the local skate shop's like, bro, you should do like security or something.
Jesus Christ. He's like, you're pretty big, bro. I think
it's like, dude, you're getting huge, man. Like, you should do like security. And I was like, dude, this is like none of this is muscle.
Man.
This is all like 2-liter Pepsis and like Coke Ices and stuff.
I can't picture you fat. Like, I can't picture any of you tall motherfuckers fat. Like, you and Julian.
I wasn't fat. I was like, I was chubby though.
Even still, you guys are like, you guys are fucking monsters. Like, every time we like roll up, I'm like, yeah, these are my tall ass California friends. Here they come. They're all fucking 6'9". Like, I don't know why they drift. They should have joined the NBA. What the fuck is happening?
If Julian and I go on trips anywhere and we like get hotels like on the way to places, every time we go in, like someone's like, oh, you guys here for like a volleyball tournament or like a basketball tournament or something? Every time Julian's just always like, yep.
Obviously, like, what else would I be here for?
Dude, getting asked if you play basketball when you're tall is like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I have like a lot of responses, but I like never say them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's it like to be every girl's fucking optimal height, you know?
I don't know if that's the case.
You don't think so?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I heard you had a good time in Chicago.
Hey. No, I do well, bro. I do well. I'm only 5'9" though. There's hope for the 5'9" people out here. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you're doing great.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried. Fucking no, but you see it though. You go on like the dating apps, and it's like, scroll around. This girl's like, well, if you fucking aren't 6'2", just swipe left. Like, all right, like, I'll just wear some fucking stilts then. Like, how tall are you? And the girl's like 5'1". Like, what are you talking about? like you're literally like barely tall enough to ride a roller coaster. Like,
yeah, that one's weird. I'm like, what do you? What do you? Yeah.
How do I even like? No, I feel like
you want to know why short girls want to date tall guys is because they can't reach anything.
And they don't want to climb shit anymore. They're sick of fucking step stools.
They're like, why would I get a ladder when I can just date a taller guy?
I get it. I like short girls. Like, I wouldn't date a girl that's taller than me. You know, that's just me personally. I understand why people would. Maybe if you're like so short and you want to like have children that are taller, you should date a girl that's 6'5". But like me personally, like 5'2". That's where, because I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'9". You know, I don't want to be like a little baby bird getting fed to. You know,
dude, I know like a couple dudes who are like pretty short and they only date like really tall girls.
And I think that's why, like, one of my buddies, Joey from back home, he's Sicilian. He's literally like 5'1", And he loves tall girls, and that's the reason why. He's like, if I'm gonna wife a girl, like she's got to be tall because my kids will not be short. Like, and like I'm like that logic.
Dude, I love it.
It makes sense. I'm like, it'll keep growing as time goes on. Like,
yeah.
Me, I'm never having fucking kids because of the shit we do, amongst other reasons. But
are you worried about like the global economy or something, or like what?
I'm not really worried about it. I know that it's all going to shit, so I'm not really worried about it. I don't think I can't imagine the logic of being like, I'm gonna have children in 2021. Like, honey, let's have a baby. Like, you want to bring your kid into this world? Why? That's a disservice to that child. Like,
I mean,
don't do it. Like, adopt a fucking cat. Fucking
maybe
get real.
Maybe the kid becomes a TikTok star, dude. You never know.
That sounds like my worst nightmare. Jesus. Fucking.
You don't want a TikTok star child?
Nah. I don't want none of that. I don't want nothing to do with that. TikTok, this and that. I'm a fucking old man. I've literally turned into like a rickety old man. Like, I realized like I'm like 26. I'm like, I have nothing in common with these kids. Like, I was like in the beginning of the internet. That was like 1995. I was born. It was like I literally like was barely like AOL fucking dial up was like just fucking, that was the fucking bee's knees. Like, all right, everybody, let's wait 15 minutes for a website to load. Like,
yeah,
fucking, I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like we're the last, at least my generation, of like kids that are like going to go and do things that they shouldn't do. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm fucking wrong, Like, I see kids riding bikes and stuff still. I see them out like on the wheelie bikes, and I get hyped. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, this kid just like flipped off some old lady in the road. Like, this kid doesn't give a shit. Like, that shit gives me hope,
Kids are always going to be, because they have like low inhibitions and low like lots of adrenaline and like, you know what I mean? Like, you just, these kids don't care. Like, kids will forever not care, and you're always gonna have kids who, I don't know how to say it. You're always gonna have the kids who want to like push the boundaries of things, right? Like, you're always gonna have those kids. What those boundaries are, I don't know, man. I don't know what the future of like I don't know what the future boundaries are. Like, I don't know what the future like bad kids are. Like, what are you gonna get kicked out of school for like not using people's pronouns or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, what's it gonna be? Like, I don't know. Like, what's that bad kid gonna be? Like, the bad kid used to be the kid who would like show up high to fucking class and like was, I don't know, fucking, I guess you want to go back to middle school, the kids who were like selling fucking lollipops and soda out of their locker, like that was the bad kid. Like, you're like, oh man, you got another Chupa Chup, like, like that was the bad kid. Like,
and if you look at it, that was like the kid hustling.
He was hustling,
Yeah, he had,
entrepreneur.
Yeah, ambition,
Yeah, and fucking frowned upon, See, I don't know, man. It is interesting. It's going to be interesting what the future holds in that regard. I personally wouldn't want to bring a child into this world. I don't want kids to begin with, but it's just like, it's enough for us to have to deal with like everything that's going on, like socially, economically, and then like,
I mean, I have a lot of friends that feel the same way. A lot of friends. It's more than, I mean, probably more than like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah, I get it.
But then again, I feel like there's so many of these like COVID babies coming out, like, because no one had anything better to do other than fucking, They're like, all right, honey, like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe those kids will be like the shit. Maybe that'll be our future president, little COVID baby. I don't know. I don't want to be pessimistic about it.
I mean, there's a strong chance that eventually we will have a president who was born during a COVID bang sesh.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I'm all for I've been
Based
saying this
off a Tinder date, you know?
yeah. No, I've been saying this for weeks now that like cuz Long Island is like everyone thinks like Long Island is like the city, but we're like practically Pennsylvania, just like off like 2 bridges and tunnels. And I'm just like, we should fucking secede from like the rest of the country. Like if we could literally be our own Japan. We don't need anybody else. Like you want to come trade with us, come into fucking international waters in the Long Island Sound, like bring me some silk and like I'll give you some fucking corn and we can call it a day. Like I don't know, man. So much craziness going on. I wouldn't want to do it. Like you just got the puppy like what last year? Like that's a kid. That's a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Is he not like a handful? Like I'm sure he's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, he's a handful. I mean, yeah, it's definitely like added to the things that I need to do in life and like worry about. But I mean, like I was just like chilling. I was like sleeping this morning and he just like comes and like puts his head like right here. like
this is a pillow.
And then like literally just goes to sleep. And I'm like, oh no, could be worse.
No,
like,
that's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
I was like, this is pretty nice.
Yeah. And like at least you don't have to worry that he is gonna get fucking cyberbullied by like some dude online or like I don't fucking know, like whatever bad shit happens to kids now. Like someone fucking hacks their Roblox account and fucking I don't know. Like fucking my coworker the other day when the Instagram took a shit, he was like, these little kids are gonna look at this like this is gonna be like their 9/11. Like remember when like the internet fucking died? Like Jesus Christ. Like,
these little kids don't even go on Instagram, they go on TikTok and Snapchat, man. Like it didn't even affect them. It's all us boomers that were upset about it.
Like, who am I gonna fucking argue with about Orange Man and the sleepy guy? Oh, you can't even fucking argue anymore.
Aaron Levitt said he was like texting or he was picking up a car from some kid. He was buying a car, right? And the kid was like talking to him or whatever. He's like, oh, one sec. And he like sent a text message and he's like, you can't multitask, you boomer. And Aaron's like,
Jesus.
What? I was like, dude, these kids are gonna be ruthless. Cause like they like imagine growing up with like ruthless memes at like 9 years old. You know what I mean? Like you used to have to like actively go look for like wild stuff on the internet, like on like E-Bombs World or like Newgrounds or like all that stuff. And it's like you'd be like with your friends like on their parents' computer in the living room, like looking if anyone's coming and be like, you know, whoa, like this dude got hit by a bus, you know, like those kind of videos. Like, dude, they just see that stuff like from like as soon as they get a phone or as soon as one of their friends gets a phone.
Like, it's just on Live Leak, like watching fucking beheading videos. It's just like this kid's a savage, bro. Like,
you know what I mean? Like
that's pretty fucked up to think about. You know,
I remember seeing like wild stuff in movies, and you like it's like memorable. You know, like the first time you like watch someone get like hit with a shovel in like a movie or something.
Yeah.
It's like, now it's like
yeah. Like I remember like watching Cartman like feed his bully his parents chili, and I was like, damn, this is fucking fucked up. Like apparently that ain't shit nowadays. You know what I mean?
I mean, but like at the same time, there's like stuff that we got that they won't get. Like they'll never be able to make Team America World Police ever again.
Holy shit. Yeah.
You know?
You can't do that. You definitely can't do that again.
Like that movie's not coming out in 2020. Mm-hmm. So like the kids are gonna see like more. It's weird, man. That's weird.
Like Beavis and Butthead, like Ren and Stimpy. That's a good example.
Yeah. I remember watching Beavis and Butthead. There's like the episode where like one of them has like a grasshopper on their finger. I remember this vividly. I was like, must have been like 6 or something, and like he had like a grasshopper on his finger, and like the other one had a chainsaw, and they were like trying to like hit the grasshopper with the chainsaw, and instead he just cut his finger off. And like I just remember seeing that like you know, like as a kid that's like a lot, you know. And then now it's like kids like 6-year-olds are watching like Rick and Morty and stuff and like questioning like existence, and they're having like existential crises at like fucking 9 years old.
Yeah, they're like
What is
way
that
too
gonna
fucking
do?
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like Ren and Stimpy, like that was like oh, this is some fucking ass and titties, like how is this even happening on fucking Nickelodeon? You know what I mean? Like this was not for kids. This was for like the dad who like had to watch his kid and was like, here's a cartoon, but like here's some fucking boobs.
That's my situation. Yeah. Be like, what's you ever seen Beavis and Butthead? I'm like 6. No. Put that on. Put on Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
I have like 2. I don't know, man. I have a lot of memories of Ren and Stimpy being like, what? There's like one where like one of them was like living in a toilet bowl for like a long time and like dying and stuff. Like I was like, and like the way they animated everything was like so like, I don't know, like dark.
It was very graphic. It was like,
yeah, they would like zoom in on stuff a lot and like make
like
it,
Ren would have a saw and he'd be like fucking humping away and you're like, the fuck is this? Like how is this for children? Like,
and they would do like ultra close-ups of like really gross stuff all the time too, and you're just like, what?
Like
I
a
don't know.
toe, like a fucking bunk ass bunion toe, and you're like what the fuck?
Yeah. So I mean, I guess we're all bound to see weird stuff. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just hope we get to keep drifting for a while.
I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be good. We might have to be forced to trade in our 1Js and SRs for, I don't know, forklift engines with like fucking adapter plates for like Z-Trans or some shit. But like I could get behind that. Like,
yeah.
Little fucking electronic car.
Yeah. Whatever,
Yeah.
as long as we get to keep doing this. Like you can't put like a gas engine in a horse, you know, but you can put an electric engine in a gas engine car. So we like, we got some options.
You could put a horse in a car. No, you can't. You can't do that either.
Well, like, yeah, they kind of did that by like putting a horse pulling like a car.
A chariot, little chariot situation.
Fucking like sitting on there through the desert.
Chuck along. Oh my
yeah.
God. I would fucking thrive in that situation. I want nothing more than to just have like a fucking, I don't know, just a horse, just be out in the wild, fucking pop up my fucking tent in the middle of nowhere. We can't do that anymore. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah.
Animal abuse. They're gonna be like, nah, you can't fucking do that to the horse.
You can't live off the land.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Fucking like, hey, you're on Tinder, like, hey, you wanna come over to my yurt?
Oh man.
I'll come pick you up on my horse.
I'll be outside. There's gonna be a steed steaming in the darkness.
Listen for the hooves.
His name's Jimmy. We're gonna be trodden up soon.
Jimmy Hoofit.
Jimmy Hoofit. That's gonna be the horse's name. I can get behind it. I'm game. Oh man. Yo, we allowed to take pisses mid fucking pod, dude? How's that work?
Yeah, go for it.
Just like do it right here into like a bottle. Just, like,
yeah.
You know,
like, don't look.
That's like the worst. If you've never been in that situation where you had to pee in a bottle on a road trip, like, God bless you, because that is a dangerous pee. Because not only like you gotta like make sure you don't miss, but as soon as you get going, like when do you stop? And then like you always have to stop too soon because you've been holding this piss for a while. You know what I mean? You gotta like pinch one off, and then it feels like you got a fucking kidney stone. You know what I mean? Like literally like break your dick to try to take a piss mid-car ride.
I had this girl I used to date told me to do it. She's like, I'm not pulling over. And I'm like,
oh my God.
She's like, just do it. And I'm like, all right. So I do it and I filled the water bottle. And it was a rental car.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ. He starts like backfiring. You're like,
I still remember it. Like we were on a road trip. We were like super far from home. I still remember the exit that like we drove past. It was like coming into Santa Barbara on 101. I was like, please stop the car. She's like, no, we're like close. And she's like, just pee in a bottle. Like, can't guys do that? And I'm like,
jeez.
I'm not gonna do that. Like, this is not gonna end well. And she's like, just do it. Like, I don't want to stop. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And like, it was hilarious. It was.
Moral of the story: we don't date anymore.
I mean, it was a rental car, so whatever.
Yeah, no, the little pee in the rental car, no big deal.
That's not the worst thing that's ever been in a rental car.
All right, I'm gonna pop right back.
Okay.
All right, that was the fastest pee I've ever taken in my life.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know where to go from here, dude.
Yeah, I don't know either. I feel like I've just been fucking rambling nonsense for the past 2 hours.
No, it's been great.
Everyone who listens to this is gonna be like,
dude,
they
didn't
the least informational. Yeah, no, like what the fuck? I thought we were gonna like learn about like car setup, this and that. Like literally, no. My car is a stock fucking S chassis with adjustable arms. Like, there's no secret here.
Brian, I knew when we talked about doing this that we weren't going to talk about car setup. Trust me.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm more than happy to talk about weird stuff.
Yeah, for sure. What are you drinking there? What is that?
It's a beer that Jason brought over to my house like 6 months ago. It's probably not good anymore. It's got a weird funk to it at this point, but
he likes all that. You like the IPA stuff too? You drink that stuff?
I will. I'm not like it has to be an IPA. Like Jason only drinks IPAs.
Yeah.
He'll drink other stuff, but that's what he prefers. I'm like it. I like a little bit of everything.
I started drinking wine recently, which I feel like is like, oh, I drink wine now. But like, honestly, I prefer that like over anything at this point. I'm like,
really?
Yeah, I feel like it just like sets me in like a proper headspace where I can like makes me sleepy. Like I'm not doing it to party. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like have some wine, like chill and fucking just have a good time, you know?
Like paint someone.
Oh man, fuck, dude. Rowan and I'm drinking some sort of spiked seltzer. I'm not gonna give them a shout out because fuck them.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say what I should get like little like Goodest cast stickers for like in case I like hide.
Yeah, I'm drinking Goodest cast fucking spiked seltzers. Number 1. They have 8% alcohol content. They get you literally annihilated. Buy one now.
Brought to you by Goodest Co.
Hell yeah. So, has anyone ever smoked weed on your podcast? Has this happened yet?
Yeah, but you can do it too.
Who did it?
Lucky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that one. Yeah, I was just watching Phoebe's. The last one
Phoebe's was a good time.
It was awesome. I really fucked with that one because I feel like
a lot of people tell me that was their favorite.
Yeah, I feel like it's cool to hear like that perspective of like this person who's been dealing with like a crazy person like us all this time. Like, how the fuck? Like you're a real trooper. Like, let's be real here. Like, if you got a girlfriend and she stays with you while you go through this crazy shit, like you better put a ring on that shit because honestly, like we're all fucking dummies. Like any girl that could like be like, you know what, like supportive in this, like you should, you know what, babe, like do that, like instead of being like the opposite. That's rare. That is very rare, you know? Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes when you're in this situation, it's like hard to like look at it and be like, yeah, that is important.
Yeah. You need that. Cause if you got like someone, I mean, like random example, like when I started apprenticing, I knew my parents were always against tattoos. Like I was never allowed to have piercings.
I wasn't never allowed to have tattoos either.
Yeah. Like I was never allowed to have like crazy fucking hair. I
wasn't allowed to have BMWs. That was like the one car I was like not allowed to drive.
Oh man. Why is that? Just German shit? He was like, no Germans.
No, man. My dad had like my dad grew up with money. And so he had like a bunch of like, he had like a 911 in high school. And like, he was like, I don't know how much I want to get into this, but he was
Damn,
yeah,
damn, Papa Palmer, fucking.
yeah. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. But like he he grew up pretty well off, right? So like my grandfather started a flight training school called Sanderson Films, and what they did is they would film flight trainings to become a pilot and sell the videos. And so like initially they would sell the reels and like send them to like theaters, and people like, instead of someone going to like a class and paying a teacher, they would sit in like an auditorium and watch like, you know, a vetted professional teacher like it's like, you know, online classes before online classes. Essentially it's like
That's sick.
cutting edge like stuff, right? And that popped off, and he like made the right moves, and he was like on the board of aviation at one point, I think. I'm pretty sure. But like
Dang.
yeah, he was
Was
he's
he in
like
like the war? Your grandfather? Was he in World War
yeah,
II?
he was on in the Navy. He was a mechanic, like an airplane mechanic in the Navy. So like airplanes is like his thing, right? Like that was his life. And it's like kind of hard to talk about this stuff, man. So he's no longer with us, but he was like my everything. Like my grandfather was like, he took care of me, not like financially, but just like he was like a really solid, like level dude who had like been through a lot and like was super intelligent. And my dad is like a bit of a wild man. Like he's got like some impulse control issues and stuff. And like he's got really strong opinions. So like he had a BMW once, and it like the seat, he's like, the fucking seat fell out of that piece of shit. Like fuck those stupid cars. Like everybody who drives them does not. These are fucking blank. He gets like really bad. I think he's either bipolar or like he's got like a whole lot of like
There's some like underlying.
he's got like a whole lot of mental illnesses like fighting each other pretty much. That's my dad. And
Which
so
all come down to fuck BMW.
yeah, pretty much. So in like some ways he was like very supportive of drifting, and in other ways he was like he would try and take it away from me when he was like feeling low or whatever, you know what I mean? So it was like high highs to be like, oh, this is so cool, you like come out, and then like sometimes he'd be like, fuck you, you can't keep your car at my house, and all this like crazy shit. Like out of nowhere. Like so that was it's complicated, man. Like I feel weird like putting this out there in the universe, but like in the last like couple years we really haven't had like a lot of contact, but you know, like shout out for him like showing me car stuff, and like, you know, like getting me into like, we used to watch F1 together and like all that stuff when I was younger. But like as far as me doing what I'm doing, it's like 1,000% on me. Like, you know, when my granddad like in his later years, like as I was, you know, becoming like a teenager and stuff, like he was like supporting my dad a lot through like some of his like issues, right? And that kind of like burned up all of his like, you know, funds over time. And you know, as you get older, like if you're not like, you know, he went from like nothing to like a millionaire, so like you're not like, you don't know how to like prolong that wealth or whatever. So yeah I don't know.
I could imagine that being like, if you come from like, so like especially that generation, I don't know, did your grandfather come, like was he off the boat, like did he come, was he born here, or did your great grandparents come here?
He was here, yeah.
Okay. Because it seems like a lot of that generation, like I mean, like my grandparents were like first generation, like they came over, and it's like my grandfather on my dad's side, he fucking shined shoes. You know what I mean? Like they was like, oh, where's your shine box? Like I have my grandfather's shine box. Like,
dang.
Like that's like the most humbling shit. You know, I see that thing, I'm
Yeah.
like, was he getting a fucking nickel for this shit? Like, to being like, wow, like now I'm like, my parents are like doing good, like enough for me to fucking live here rent free and fucking be able to do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very lucky in that aspect. Like,
getting all these tattoos, even though it's against the fucking rules, dude.
yes,
Bryan.
that was like, so they never allowed, that was like, you're not allowed to get this. Like, you're not allowed to do tattoos. So like, even like my first tattoo was on my lip. And then like my second, I ended up getting on my arm. So like I got this one. And I remember I was wearing like 3/4 sleeves. I got the thing in June and I was wearing like 3/4 like baseball t-shirts. And like it was coming into summer and my mom was like, what the fuck are you covering? Like, you're on heroin, Bryan. Like what's wrong with you? Like just show me you're hiding your track marks. And I was like, honestly, like heroin sounds pretty fucking dope. Like you keep talking about it. Like maybe I should try some of that stuff. And like I think I wrote it out for like another week before, like it was like 3 weeks since I got the tattoo on my arm that I was like, I got a tattoo, like look at it, like. And that was like, oh, like they were disappointed and this and that. But that kind of was like, okay, I'm getting tattooed. But come the time when I started my apprenticeship, like they knew I quit my job. They knew I didn't have a job, but I knew I couldn't tell them what I was doing because every day I would hear, are you sure this is what you want to do with your life, Bryan? Like, are you positive? Like, is this really what you want? And I knew that like, I was already hearing it from the people at the shop. Like, you don't want to do this. Like, you're not meant to do this. Cause there was like that, obviously there's like hazing aspect.
Sometimes
like,
you need that, man. Sometimes you need someone to be like, no, you're not going to be good at this. You don't want to do this.
Yeah.
For you to go internally, yeah, I do. Like,
yeah,
you know?
no, it's good. It's good and bad. Like, I feel like from the people at the shop, when they were shitting on me every day, I was like, that was like the good energy. Like, okay, like break me down, rebuild me into this. Like,
yeah.
But I knew if I had to hear it from my parents, that I would start to get deterred. Especially like being like, oh, you're just a fucking loser, like no job. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're just gonna live at home for the rest of your life type. So I was like, I didn't tell them, and they ended up finding out like 6 months in. And it was like probably the best thing I ever did because I don't think I would have quit regardless, but I just knew it would have been hard for me to continue
to get
through
both.
It would have been tough. Like, and like I think in hindsight,
it's not easy.
now,
it's not easy.
Yeah, like they're happy now. Like they know I'm not on drugs, which they always thought I was on fucking drugs because I'm fucking crazy, I guess. Like I'm like, like no, mom. Like I just fucking smoke weed and I drink. Here's a funny. So one time I smoked in my house with my friends, and my mom's like, "You better not be smoking and driving." And I'm like, I look at my mom. I'm like, every time I've driven in the car with you, I've been high. And she's like, you shouldn't be telling your mother this, Bryan. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't want to hear this. I'm like, you may not want to hear it, but since I started driving, since you started teaching me to drive, like I've literally been stoned every fucking time. And you have not noticed. You have not noticed. So like, clearly it's okay. She was like, this is fucking blah, 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 blah. Just fucking. But that's like the way my parents were. I'm glad my parents were hard on me because I feel like it made me like stronger in that way. Like if they weren't so hard on me, I probably wouldn't do half the shit I do now. Like I wouldn't have to rebel against what they didn't want me to do, which I feel like was the main cultivation in a lot of the shit, like especially tattoos and fucking drifting, because let's be honest here, no one should fucking do this shit. Like it's a terrible idea.
Yeah,
like,
both of those are like, what are you doing? But I don't know,
yeah.
man. I feel like tattooing's, it's harder to get into than people think. Like I've had like a couple friends go down that road and like only one of them is still doing it.
Yeah. I think
I've actually known like probably like a handful, maybe like 10 people who are like, I'm gonna tattoo, and really I only really know one dude who's stuck with it and is actually like successful doing it. And that's dope, man. Like that's drifting is not easy either. You pick two things that are like very difficult to like get into and stay up with. Just like drifting, like the bar is always being pushed in tattooing. Like, you know, like I give you respect on that. Like, and it's like two things that are like very much how you doing them is very much based on your ability and what you put into it.
Your effort. That's really when it comes.
Yeah.
People think a lot of people are so naturally talented, and this and that, and they don't think like, oh, this person was born with these natural gifts. Which I think some people, maybe you got like Julian might be an example of that, where he's like naturally talented, but he also put in the fucking work.
He puts it.
Like, he puts in that fucking work.
I try and tell people that all the time, man. Like Jason, I remember when Jason was like okay at chase driving, and Jason was just very consistent and not like wild. Like he was like extremely, like he could put the car in the same spot every time, but it wasn't like exciting. And then he, over time, through driving a ton when everyone else's cars were breaking, like started to like build speed and like learn how to like slow the car down with angle and like do all this stuff. And like, I mean, he could do it, right? But like he was trying to go like the pro route, and he was like practicing that type of driving and stuff. And like, dude, he just put the time in. Like you have to put the time in. Like you get out of things in life what you put into them. Like
100%.
If that's with anything. If you wonder why something's not working for you, maybe either double down and see how it goes, or like maybe it's not for you. Sometimes that's the case with people. Like, but if you put the time in, and like you put the time in on the right things, and it's not just about money. It's about like effort and being able to like determine what things are important to like focus on and stuff. And sometimes that comes from experience, but like, man, that's so important.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, and I hear it all the time, at least at my job, that's like, oh, I don't know how you do this. Like, I could never pull a straight line. Like, I could never do this. I'm like, you could though. Like realistically, like I could teach anyone to do my job with enough practice. And it's like same with drifting. It's like, you've never driven stick before, you need to learn how to drive stick. You've never done a burnout before, you need to learn how to drop the clutch and like hold the foot brake and like give enough pressure to like spin the wheels. And then like you got to learn how to do a donut, you need to learn how to do a figure eight. And it's like those are the steps to like get to the point where you could go and link some turns at the track. And it's like that's not a naturally born gift. Like no one was naturally came out of the fucking womb was like, hell yeah, I'm fucking throwing backies in Meihan. Like that, like those dudes wrecked 6 cars in their entire career to get to the point where they have one car that stays together because they know what they're doing now. It's like,
yeah. I mean, if you heard the episode with Phoebe, like she was talking about how Julian used to like wreck cars all the time, like when they were younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I crashed like a bunch on the street when I was a kid, like.
Yeah, it's part of it. And I think it's frowned upon.
I'm not promoting that. Like, go do it at a racetrack. Don't do it on the street. But like, still, if you're not driving hard enough to the point where like you feel like you could be, at least like hurting the car a little bit, like you got to drive past that. You got to like keep pushing that thing.
I think the complacency, that's what bothers me, like in pretty much anything, because especially like in everything I do, there's infinite levels to be achieved. That's how I view it. It's like in tattooing, like I see what's capable of what's out there where I'm at. And I'm like, I try not to compare myself directly to others, but I know what is possible. So I'm like, okay, well, I could achieve this if I work hard enough, and I could achieve that. Just as I watch a video of fucking Nauki, and I watch like videos of you guys, or I watch the C's Garage guys, and I'm like, I could drive at this level if I work hard enough and I practice enough. And it's like, if you get complacent in what you do, like what's the fucking point? Like if I went in and I was just like, I did my job every day and I was just like, you know what, like that was good enough and I'm happy with it, as opposed to what I actually do when I post a fucking photo and I go and microanalyze everything I fucking did. And I'm like, oh, well, this line could have been like a little fucking straighter, that like I could have fucking opened this up and I could have used these colors. And there's always something I could have done, which is not like a negative thing. It's just like, well, what can I do to make it better next time? Because if I can't do it better next time, what's the fucking point? Like,
I think the hard part is like knowing when you're being too critical versus like being critical enough to like catch stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
I've been working on that. I'll give you some insight. Like I've been working on that because like for the longest time I was like I would be like, yo, this is sick, and it would be cool, but it wouldn't be like the coolest thing ever, right? Like in my head, I would come back from a run, and I'd be like, I was like on his door, and then I'd see pictures or video, and I'd be like, dude, I wasn't even close, right? And then on the flip side, I would like do an entry that I thought was like shitty, and I would watch it back, and I'd be like, oh, it was actually like okay, but like I wasn't picking out the right things to work on. Like I was just looking at it as a whole.
Yeah.
I was looking at it from like, from like spectator view. I wasn't looking at it from like driver view, or like I'm sure it's the
Okay,
same thing in like tattooing.
that's interesting. That's an interesting theory. That's as opposed to what everyone else is seeing versus like what actually matters.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at the small detail like, oh, I entered weird, or like, oh, like like I was looking at like the whole picture versus just
Yeah.
all the little steps in what I was doing. And once I started picking that apart, I'm able to make like constructive, changes to what I'm doing and like better each piece instead of just be like, look at something and be like, oh, that's trash.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it
it
makes
took me a
sense
long time to figure that out. Like,
because you can't just write off everything you do as garbage, which like I did catch myself doing that for like a very long time, and everything I did was just like because I'm hard on myself. Like that's just how I am. I'm like I think there's goods and bads in being hard on yourself, but like you said, you can't just be like that was garbage and not have like any room to improve upon. Like what was bad about it? Like what weren't you happy about in whatever it is you did? And now for the future, like okay, if I do this time, like I'll be happier with it in the end. Like, and I think that's something, especially like I noticed when we visited Meihan, I think that was one of the biggest things I noticed was in America at most tracks, you'll see these dudes just fucking gargling each other's nuts in the fucking, like, you're like, yo, man, that was fucking sick. Like we were shredding out there. Like that was dope. Like, but you see in Japan, like, they're not like getting off a run, like hyped about it usually. Like I saw a lot of the girls at Meihan, like they would go and they fucking take their GoPro and they go into the fucking hide off onto the side and review every one of their runs. Like,
yeah,
because they're trying to figure out how to get better. They're not like getting out like, yo, I'm sick. Like I'm the fucking best drifter alive. Like,
yeah, they weren't like swinging their lady nuts. Like, what's up? Like, and rightfully so, they totally could.
They could because they're better than me. Like they're like so much better than me, and everyone else that I'm like that. Like I'm like, what is she mad about? Like I saw people like legitimately sad with the way they're running, and I'm like, why? Because to me, I'm like, that's fucking. But where they're at and what they're looking to achieve, like they're just a little bit ahead of us right now. Like not a little bit, they're a lot of it. A lot.
Their
like,
bar is up here, and our bar is like here. And like
yeah.
they're chasing this up here. But I mean,
and there's
to
nothing
be fair,
wrong with that.
They
like,
drive that course like a lot. So like, if the level should be, like if you're driving that course like 3 times a month, 4 times a month for like 4 years, like you're gonna total some cars probably.
Yeah.
But like you're gonna get good, like it's the same thing. Like you get out of it what you put in. Like if you go there twice a year, you're gonna show up, and people who you've never seen before, who go there all the time, who are like the locals, are just gonna shred on your face, dude. And these like, yeah, the Meihan ladies, like the girls, like, because Miki's obviously a like killer. Like Miki,
she's like top tier. Like
I mean, she's
here.
She's podiuming in D1 lights like nonstop.
Like she's here, you are here. Like this is where we are.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Miki is 1,000% like better than me, right? Like,
better than most fucking. I would say probably 99% of fucking drivers in America. I would say that's
easily
a bold statement. Like
easily,
I would. Who's better than her here? Who's better than her?
I'm not arguing that at all. And like, but they are there chasing this like very high level and they're driving all the time and they're like putting in effort, and like that's what happens.
Yeah. But I think the reasoning behind it is what's inspiring to me, because it's, you got these kids now, and I can't say I blame them for it. Like if I was coming up now and I was just getting into it now and I was like, well, this kid's he's a Twitch streamer and there's a famous TikToker and you're a famous YouTuber and like there's all this money to be made. Like, I guess it looks appealing. Like why not? Like you could be this person. I feel like there's this pressure in America to be like these kids that are coming up. Like I noticed with my nephews too. They're like, "Did you get any video of you from the weekend?" I'm like, "No." Like I got this photo, and I'll send them a photo, and they're like, "Oh, but my friends want to see a video." Like you didn't take a video. Like I would be videoing. I'm like, no, because I'm in the moment. I'm just there to have fun. Like this isn't my job.
Yeah.
Like my job is tattooing. My job is to make fucking art for people.
Yeah.
And like drifting is my fun. Like if I start to stress about what this sponsor has to say, or fucking I have to make this event, then like it's not going to be fun for me. That's just me personally. Like I'm not into drifting to make any fucking money whatsoever. I'm into drifting to have fun and make friends. Like, so if I don't get a fucking video and if I don't GoPro this, like I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like that's not why I'm there. Like,
yeah,
it's not like when I do a tattoo and I'm like, I need to get a fucking good picture of this because I need to post this. Like there's that pressure involved. So I think like as fun as my job is, the fact that it is my job, it is still a job. And I think that would be Adam LZ. You go talk to him. I'm sure drifting's become a job. Now it's like,
you know me, man, or like not even me, but like everybody who started a long time ago, there was no like, check this dude out making money drifting. It was like people just drifted because they thought it was the coolest thing they'd ever seen.
Yeah.
They're like, I need to do this, you know? And like no one was like,
there was no any other involvement of like, oh, you could be a famous vlogger or some shit. Like,
yeah,
you just did it because you thought it was fucking dope in a time where like the internet barely existed. You had to download a fucking video that'd take like fucking a day to upload on your computer. Like that, like no one is different. I think you guys are like, since you guys kind of caught it at the beginning of like this golden age, I feel like you guys, when we all get fucking old, it's really going to be like listening to some fucking like archaic type shit. Like we're going to be going down like a biblical route of like, oh yeah, like remember like when we fucking like filmed everything with like a VX2000 and like I had to fucking upload this shit and like chop this video up. Like it's not going to be like how these kids are just like live streaming this and that. And it's like, that's the reason they do it, is because of like the attention involved, like, which I understand, because I feel like, especially like a lot of people in drifting, like we're kind of fucking nerdy. Like I'm a nerd. I grew up fucking collecting comic books and like into like weird shit. Like my grandpa was a stamp collector, and like I'm still into nerdy shit. Like I like collecting coins. I'm like a nerd, you know what I mean?
Do you buy the ones on TV, like the like?
No. I mean, I have some of the ones that are probably on TV, but please do not buy rare coins on TV. You're gonna pay double what they're worth. Do not do that. But I think when it comes to
they come in the box set, dude.
Oh my god, the box set for $4,000. You're like, Jesus, fucking. No, but I think especially like a lot of us like have some sort of self-esteem issue to the point that we need some validation. Like, especially as like young men.
That's just human nature, man.
Like validate me. Like, like validate me somehow. Like if my fucking post that I post for a tattoo only gets like 40 likes, I'm like, wow, I guess that tattoo fucking blew dicks. Like, because the one yesterday got like 100 likes. Like, that's just like how it like. And I think how to people,
fucking weird is that?
It's weird. It's fucking weird, bro. It's like, but you can't say, because like a girl could go and like look pretty and do this and that, and she's gonna get validation from like everyone around her. But what validates a dude other than the fact that he's good at something, and that's really it. Like, do you have something that you're good at? Can you do this? Whoa. Like, are you worthy?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
You know? Like, and I noticed like Matt Petty will always say it when I'll go to like a B group clinic, and he'll be talking about. He's like, I know, like, you've all been burned by a girl before. Like, we've all been burned by a girl. It's okay. It's okay. Like, wait for your homie to catch up to you in tandem. Like, you don't have to burn him on the fucking entry. Like, he's gonna be with you, bud. Like, and he's right, because it's like, that's how we think.
That's
It's
pretty
like,
good.
if I fuck this up, like it brings you back to that moment where like that girl cheated on you in fucking ninth grade, or like that's what you think about. Like, you have to like get yourself out of that rut of like, I'm a worthless piece of shit. You know, I feel like that's like a common thing amongst us where we're like, I need to validate why I'm here and what I do. And like, I think that fuels the YouTube and the Instagram and the clout chasing. Like, that's like the main, because if they have that, then it gives them some sort of worth, you know?
I mean, I would be lying to you if I said that that wasn't like something that I dealt with heavily. Like, I, early on in drifting, like I felt like entitled, and I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm like out here, like, because it's a lot of effort,
like,
and you like
you have to prove something. You have to prove to everyone around you that
like,
you're doing like what you're doing. Like,
yeah. And as soon as I like let go of that, it was the best thing ever. Like, as soon as I let go of like, oh, like I hope this person sees this run, like I hope like, oh, I hope someone got a video of that, so
yeah,
like I can post it. Like, now I'm just like, dude, if it was cool, it was cool, and I'm like happy about it. And I mean,
yeah,
it's like, it's sick. Like, I'm genuinely happy if somebody gets like a cool clip of me, but I'm not like heartbroken if they don't. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I think as soon as I got to that point, I know, no, I know it's weird. Like, this is recent. This is all like recent like stuff. Like, so if you still like feel like, fuck, I want like cool clips, like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
fine. Like, that's totally like, I think I just got out of it last year, like among my trip, where I realized like none of that shit really mattered. Like, why I was doing what I was doing. But which trip were we talking about? Not that one specifically. More alongside the one like just driving. I had all these miles on the fucking road to just think about shit, and I'm just like,
yeah.
okay, if I don't post this GoPro clip of what I got from Grange, like, what's really gonna happen? Like, why am I posting it? Like, I'm posting it because I want the attention, or like maybe I just want to post it just so everyone could fucking see where I am. Like, and I think that's cooler, because I think in the past, especially when you first start, you're super proud of yourself when you figure something out. You learn a new fucking trick. You learn this new technique. Like, you're stoked on it. Like, you should be. You should be fucking hyped that you got this far. And I think that's fucking important. And I think it was something that I had to overcome too, like you said, because it's like, you kind of like wait for it. Like, you're simping for that fucking media to come out after the event. You're like, does anyone got any pictures of my car? Like, does anyone got any video? And like, you want to see it. Like, you need it to know that you did it. Where it's like, I think everyone kind of gets to the point, if you've been doing this shit long enough, that you finally get to the point you're like, none of that shit matters. But like, you see some cool media, it comes out. Usually I won't share it unless it's like one of my boys. Like, if it's not someone like Connor Croak or someone who like took a photo of my car, like, it's not that I don't care. It's like, the only reason I'm sharing is because that's my boy. Like I fuck with what he does. Like, it's more about him, you know what I mean, than me now. Where I feel like in the beginning it was like me. Like, where am I? Where's this more? Or more, I'm like you were saying with James, like, I'm proud of my boy for fucking shredding. Like, I'm proud of my boy for making this dope ass video. I'm gonna share this video. I'm hyped. I want everyone to see this video that my boy made. And like, that's where I get hyped now. Like, I get hyped for like everyone around me. And I think that makes me happier. I feel like genuinely I'm much happier now thinking that way.
Yeah, man.
But I get all fucking argues of it. Like, all the arguments of it would just be like,
Well, I think what you were saying before is like, when you learn this hard, very difficult thing to do, and you put the time in and the effort, and you go out and you're like linking the course, or you're like tandeming for the first time, and you don't really get like the attention for it. It like, the attention that you're getting doesn't match the feeling that you have about your accomplishment. You're like, man, like it can turn into animosity. Like, why are these fucking people getting pictures and blah blah, and not me? But it's like,
Yeah, you can get all down on yourself about it. You'll make yourself feel shitty, and it's like,
yeah, just be happy you're out there like doing it and like do it for yourself. And I don't know, like it's like the most freeing feeling ever to just not worry about how other people saw your driving. It's like, what does it mean to you? And like feel the high off that feeling, and like don't worry about, if people saw it or if people got it on
yeah,
camera. Like, and then like obviously, like if you're proud and you want to like show it to your like family and your friends, like obviously, like I get that, but it's like there will be more.
yeah. You'll have another chance to impress that fucking hot chick who likes standing in the stand, bro. Like she's not into you anyway, bro. I'm sorry. Like
She's probably not into drifting. Like,
she's probably not. She's probably just there because like her boyfriend's there. Like, sorry, bud. Any good-looking girl at a racetrack is taken. It's a fact. And if she's not, you don't want anything to do with her.
no, I mean, maybe. You never know, dude.
I don't know, dude. You're like at the track too long, or like you spend the whole day at the track and you like see some girl and you're like, damn, that girl is a fucking smoke show. And then like you realize like later when you leave, you're like, wait, you got like, just like the track goggles, you got like the tire smoke goggles on, like, yo, I don't even know what the fuck I was looking at. Like I thought that girl was hot, but like, you just realize you've been staring at dudes all day and fucking
yeah, when the ratio is that off, like,
yeah, boys be looking pretty when the ratio's off, bro. I don't know, Oh man. No, I can't knock anybody's hustle though, man. Like if that's what you want to do, like if that's what you're into, it's not personally my fucking thing. But like if you want to make a vlog and you want to be this like famous fucking person, I mean, you could go for it, go try it. I'm sure you could do it. You know what I mean? Not everybody could be Adam Elzine and Jimmy Oakes. Yeah. I think like
I met that dude. I didn't know he was famous.
Which one, Jimmy?
Yeah, he's hella nice.
Oh, Jimmy's the man. He's a great dude.
He was so cool. I was like, oh, like I could tell it was really funny because I was talking to him. It was when he was messing with Tom's car at Bloodmasters Invitational. And he was like, I was like talking to him about stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm like trying to learn this stuff or whatever, because he had like the Link software open, and we were like kind of like just talking or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm Palmer, and he's like, I'm Jimmy, or I was like, oh, what's your name? Because he like didn't say his name, and I was like, that's weird. Why didn't he say his name? And then I was like, oh, what's your name? He's like, oh, I'm Jimmy, and then we like shook hands and stuff, and I was like, all right, man, see you later. And then like someone was like, oh, are you talking to like Jimmy Oakes? Is that his name?
Jimmy Oakes.
Jimmy Oakes? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oakes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like dyslexic, so I can't pronounce any names ever. But he like, you should see all the outtakes of me doing the intro clips for the Goodest cast and like just butchering people's names, and then having to like send them a text like, hey, can you like send me a like voice memo of like how to say your name? I swear to you. But yeah, he was cool. I didn't know he was like a YouTube dude, and like, but he was super nice, man. I appreciated that.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like until I met Adam and I met those dudes that I was like, I feel like I had a certain opinion about it, because I was just like, it's just overall. It's not like anything.
I can see that.
I'm not like at you like fuck you for vlogging. Like I just think vlogs are kind of whack. Like that's just me. You know what I mean?
Real. Yeah.
But like after meeting them, I understood. I'm like, oh yeah, like they're not as I like imagined. Like they're not like doing it for the wrong reasons. Like they're in it for the right reasons. This is just their hustle. Like not my hustle. Nothing I want to do, but I can't be fucking mad about it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's a place for it. There's a place for everything. I think you got like people that are just, they see opportunity to make money, or you got the people that are competitive, like that want to win. And then you got people that just want to have fucking fun. Like, and you got people that just want to be a part of something. And I think that's why drifting's fucking dope. Yeah. You got this collectiveness of nerds that just want to be a part of something. Really overall, it's just like, we have this one topic, this one idea that's like, yeah, let's do this shit. And then it like brings together all these awesome people from all these walks of life with all this talent. And like, if you come around and you do this and that, like, you're just going to open up a world of opportunity for yourself. Like, and whatever it is, like, even if it's not vlogging, you're not going to make money vlogging, but like, I feel like now I've reached this point of like, well, since I drift and I tattoo, now people that drift want to get tattooed by me. Most of the people I tattoo drift.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I make money.
You gave Julian his first tattoo. That's sick. Most people probably won't know that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's the flying meatball monster from a movie we watched when we were hanging out.
Big Trouble in Little China.
That I barely paid attention to.
Yeah, I don't think I paid attention.
And he's like, "Oh, that's the thing I want to get tattooed," but he didn't say it at the time. But then you had to like rewatch it later to like see the thing. Anyway, like I find that sick.
Like, so I guess it's kind of lucrative. Like maybe I make money off drifting too because of the people that are my clients are into drifting. So maybe like,
or people who think drifting's cool and tattoos are cool are gonna come get tattooed by you because they can talk about drifting and get a tattoo, right? Like,
yeah. So like maybe I'm like just as bad as like these people that I like hate on for vlogging. Like at the end of the day, like it's just someone's hustle. Like that's my hustle. This is your hustle. Like I could respect, like as long as you're out fucking working and making money, like I can't hate on you, bro. Like that's just how it is. Like especially in this climate, like no one works. That's been our in Front Street. That's been our like go-to fucking saying like in the past 6 months. No one works. That's it, bro. No one fucking works. So if you work, I respect it, bro. If you're getting out there and you're fucking getting what's yours and you're trying to like better your situation, like no one can be mad about it. You can't get mad about that shit.
No way.
You know?
Okay. We gotta talk about your like Japan trip and sharing the S15 with everybody.
Oh geez, hold on, wait, pause. Is this allowed? Is this kosher?
Yeah, go for it. I don't care.
Oh man.
I don't know what the rules on YouTube are, but I haven't gotten in trouble yet, so I don't care. Like, it's not like I don't get I'm not popular enough to get like ads or anything. So
my biggest concern for this entire podcast was I'm gonna say some outlandish shit that I shouldn't say, but I think I generally know, like, yeah, you can't say that, Brian. Like, don't talk about this. But no, I have an idea of what we can talk about here. I'm not going to throw it. I guess so. The Japan trip, which was probably the most chaotic fucking situation I've ever done in my entire life. I'm glad we did it because it happened literally 2 months before COVID, where we were like October 2019. So like we literally, the last time we went there, like you guys were there, we were there. Like we haven't internationally traveled since. Like that was the end, you know? And I'm glad we did it at that time, but Jesus fucking Christ, if we could do it again, I would change so many things. Yeah, I guess it really started like summer of that year. Josh was like, okay, I found a car. So James, who runs Donkey Style, me and Josh split a car. I think it was $4,700. We're like, well, that's a great fucking deal. S15 in Osaka, fucking let's go. So we ended up like, I had my brother's wedding. And like the night of, they picked me up from the wedding. We went to Newark and like flew to Japan. It's like I literally, that was crazy. Like in that, like I was like literally partying at my brother's wedding, got picked up to Japan. So I was like nutty as is, like, but we ended up, by the time we got there, we got everything situated. We're like, okay, let's go check on the car. So we went, we traveled out. Yusuf like navigated us through all the trains, took us there. Like we taxi cabbed like up until like Naoki's old shop and like saw the car and we are like, damn, like this thing needs fucking hella work to like get this thing ready for, I think we were driving in like 2 days. So he hooked us up with like one of his buddies, AG, who had a shop. We dragged the car down there, like did everything we could to get it ready. And I guess it went fairly well. We were like driving, the car wouldn't refuse to stay in second gear. So you would go, it refused to stay in third gear. I'm sorry. It kept popping out of fucking third and second. Like the trans was just completely fucking shot. You like go and enter, downshift in the second. This thing would just spit itself out like, bleh, and you just like jamming this thing back in, like second gear. Fucking handbrake would get locked. Like it was an absolute nightmare. Like I was fucking stoked though. I was like, we're at fucking Meihan, like driving this track. Like this thing was fucking, it was absolutely nuts. Like, so I couldn't complain. Gotten like a bunch of runs and then ended up like, so we were like, we knew like the baseline of like what the car needed. We're like, we need to put a trans in this thing. We need to fix the handbrake. Like there's something up with like the fucking rear caliper. Like we need to give this thing an alignment. Like, so we dragged it back to AG's, like swapped the trans, did all this fucking shit, worked on the thing all night. Like it was literally 4 days in Japan of like, I thought we were going on vacation. I was like, yeah, we're going to like go and fucking eat some sushi and have some ramen and like have fun. But like, no, we literally, as soon as we got there, it was just chaos, like pure drifting fucking chaos, trying to get this car ready. And like, so we got the car decent enough for Josh to drive at the Pink Style event. She ended like, he was getting some laps in, he was doing pretty decent. So like James and I went out to go get him gas because we were running low on gas. By the time we get back to the track, the car is fucking on jack stands in the parking lot. And Josh is like, we're done. Like, this shit's like, we're not fixing this. Like, ended up nosing it into the wall, fucking clobbering the car. And we were like, probably the best thing to happen in the Japan trip, because from that point of the car being so totaled that we were just like, fuck this. Like, the outer tie rod snapped in half and like fucking steering racks basically on the ground. Like, the car's bent in half. Like, now we can have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
that was like the best thing, because I was like, okay, well now we're just gonna like go and fucking do tour shit, which was like, that was fun, man. It was cool to see like what happened at Meihan and like all the craziness involved. But honestly, the most fun I had in Japan was just going out and like doing fun shit, you know, like fucking. So crazy story. We decided we were going to go to Osaka Castle. We're like, oh, let's go visit the castle. Like, this is fun. Like, so we're walking down the street and I see like a bunch of pills on the ground. I'm like, what the fuck is it? Like, so some of them were like in package and like the rest were like loose on the ground. So like, I'm a scumbag, but I'm not like a fucking scumbag. So I was like, I took the ones that were in the package. Like, I left the fucking rest on the ground. I'm like, all right, ground pills, like stay here. Like, so whatever, we're like walking to the Osaka Castle and I like see the fucking code on the pill and I'm like, James, Google this shit. Like, Googles it and it's like flunitrazepine, like flunitrazepine, also known as Rufalin. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, roofies? Like, so I think I had like 5 of them. I think I had 5. And
you roofied yourself at the Osaka Castle.
No. So like, as much as I wanted to roofie myself, I saved that. You know, I was like, we're gonna need these for the end of the trip. So like, not to fast forward all the way through the Japan trip, but it ended up like we had a layover in Hong Kong. So I took them back to Hong Kong, like brought them through my carry-on, like in an Advil fucking container. As I fucking, you know, plead guilty to this. I should have probably waited 7 years to write my fucking tell-all. But like, who gives a fuck? So like, yeah, literally bring them to Hong Kong. So we had the layover there. It was like 2.5 hours. So we like went to the bar, had like 8 drinks, ate like a meal to like go into like a fucking bear coma. You know what I mean? It was time to hibernate for the winter type shit. Like, ate like 2 cheeseburgers and like fucking wings and all this fucking shit. Had like 9 beers. Like, as soon as we got onto the plane, like, I took them. I gave some to James. Josh wanted nothing to do with it. So I was like, yeah, I totally understand this. You know what I mean? Literally go to sleep. I wake up, we're 4 hours from Newark. This was like a 17-hour fucking flight. It was like I went to sleep, woke up, 4 hours to Newark, took another half, gave the other half to James, shut my eyes, woke up. The entirety of this entire trip felt like an hour. Like took the Japan trip, the Japan trip put into like an hour worth of time. I literally wake up back home.
Oh, so you roofied yourself on the plane.
Roofied myself on the plane. James roofied himself too. And it was the best decision we ever made in our entire lives. I highly recommend it. I think if I ever go back to Japan, I'm going to have to find a roofie plug over there. They're illegal in America because all the pieces of shit who fucking do terrible things to women with the drug, they had to fucking ruin it for everybody else here. But like,
you could,
in all honesty, like probably one of the best drugs on planet Earth. Like,
so
I don't understand.
So you may or may not have joined the Mile High Club.
I don't think I did. I think I was too inebriated to accomplish that task. But if I did, that would probably be the only thing to make that situation better. Because honestly, the flight there, fucking miserable.
Yeah,
miserable.
I mean, it's a long flight. 14 hours.
It's fucked.
14
like
plus hours. Yeah. It's...
Like you cannot do that shit sober. Like I'm sorry, straight edge people. Like you're not going to Japan. Like that's it.
I've done it sober like every time.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah. The first time I went, I learned from this like Japanese businessman that I was sitting next to. What he did is as soon as he got on the plane, earplugs in, eye cover, sleep as long as you can, right as you get on the plane.
Off the rip though, like off the rip.
Like right away. Like don't sit there and get comfortable, like and like get a drink or like start watching movies. Like hit the seat, like
bedtime.
Go to sleep. And then at least like when you wake up and you're on the plane, you had like a long nap or like a full night's sleep. And it's like, it's only like 10 hours or 8 hours or whatever. And like, just try and sleep as much as you can on the plane. That's like what I learned.
Yeah.
And I used to not be able to sleep on planes until I went to Japan a couple times. And then I was like, it's the only way. Like
you had no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
See, if I go back, I'm going to find some sort of horse tranquilizer that they sell in the United States. I'm going to get on the fucking plane and take all of it.
It's called ketamine, and I don't think it lasts that long.
Ah, fuck. You know, see, that's a problem with the roofie shit. You know, can't get roofies in America because fucking frat boys, assholes, ruined everything for us. You can get roofies in Japan, though, because they realize that no one sleeps. They work so hard every day. They fucking work so hard, make so much money that they never sleep. And the only way they sleep is if they roofie themselves. So they have that shit there.
You literally roofied yourself on the airplane on the way back with some roofies that you found on the ground at Osaka Castle.
Ground Osaka roofies. They were in the package though, okay? I left the ones that weren't in the package because I'm a responsible person. Okay.
Yeah, no, totally.
Like the last night that we were in Japan, James and I couldn't sleep. We were like 4 a.m. running around Osaka, like, yo, we gotta find more roofies. Like maybe they sell them at like 7-Eleven. So we're going to like Lawson, we're going to 7-Eleven. We went to like some random pharmacies and we're like, every time we go there, we're like, we need like sleep, like take pill, sleep. And like, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like the closest thing that came close, they had like some like melatonin and we're like, this is not gonna, I guess we're gonna have to make this work, which it did. It definitely did. We definitely didn't need any more than 1.5 roofies a person. That is plenty to get you back from Osaka to New York. I tell you this. Highly recommend.
You heard it here first.
I don't know, man. Like, how do people like take long trips sober? Like, what do you fucking do the entire, like if I drove across the entire country not smoking weed, what was I supposed to do with myself? Like, I can't look at this fucking tree and be entertained by nothingness. Like, what am I supposed to do with my time?
I mean, that's what I do.
How do you do that? Like, it's so impressive to me. Like,
I listen to podcasts and stuff, or I have a passenger. But like solo, yeah, like I have to like put on something to listen to, or can't be alone with my thoughts for that long, dude.
Mm.
And like get back and just be like, ah.
See, that's why weed's awesome, because you could be alone with your thoughts and be so entertained because you got like all these like little trolls running around in your fucking brain, like projecting nonsense. They're like, your brain just full auto, idiocracy, nonstop. See, none of my friends are like dabblers. Like all of my friends are either like borderline 100% sober or like remotely sober, or they do everything under the sun.
Yeah, like Tom's sober.
Like Tom's
completely
100% sober.
Yeah.
100% sober. My friend Mongo, 100% sober. Everybody else, like, I'm not saying they're like fucking crackheads, but like they party. They're partiers. Like you either party or you're straight edge. Like you can't like.
There is no middle ground.
Have to. There's no middle ground. Like
is that just
I don't
like
fuck
where
with
you're
you.
From?
I just don't fuck with you if you do that. Like that's just me personally. I think like you need to know what you want. Like you need to be sober. You like being sober. Like I get it. Like I fuck with that idea. I like that idea. Like because maybe one day I'll be 100% sober. Like, but right now I like to fucking party. I fuck with people that party too. Like I feel like people that are in the middle, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of lost. It's like, well, clearly you don't fuck with it that much that you want to party. So then like, why are you doing it at all? Like you should just be sober.
I don't know, man. To each their own, I guess.
I think the older I get though, I see it as like, oh, it's going to be like a once in a time thing. It's going to be like, I can't drink every week because by the time I turn 30, like
it's
it hurts
not the
too
same.
much.
Oh, yeah. It isn't. I'll tell you right now. Like I did like 2 weddings, 2 weekends back to back, and I was just like,
that's rough.
You know, like it's just like
that's a lot.
It's like as you get older, and like I'm 31. I'll be like 32 in a couple months. Like it's not the same. It's not the same as it used to be. You know, like I remember the house parties where you just like, you know, like if you didn't black out, you would wake up with like, you'd just be like, have a headache and like need to go eat something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Desperate for a water bottle. Like, where are they?
Yeah. And like now it's like, I'll have like 2 IPAs like at night. And then I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do anything. You know, like it's crazy.
No, I get that. I was just saying like the other day to my girl, I was just like, yo, man, I don't think I want to drink anymore. Like I'm getting to the point now that I'm like I know I like smoking weed. Like I don't really like drinking because I'll drink if I get drunk. I'll wake up at like 4 a.m. like can't sleep. It's not worth it to me. And then I'll like have a miserable 2 days. It's like I'd rather just smoke a little weed and fucking play video games and like wake up fine, you know, like it's not. And like I could see myself eventually like throwing away the weed and going straight sober like Tom. You know,
I feel like
I could see it happening.
I don't know. I feel like if those like crazy nights are always like a good time and a good story, but like you can have a good time not doing that. I don't know. Whatever. Everybody has their like limitations and stuff. Like I know I've woken up like a couple times and I'd just be like, why do I do this? Why? But
yeah, like this shit hurts. Like
Like
I've never felt that way, like going to sleep, like smoking weed, like unless I took an edible or something. Like I always wake up fine. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I had to quit. I quit drinking coffee, like because I was getting fucking too jittery. So I was like, I can't drink this shit anymore. And then got me thinking. I'm like, well, I could quit drinking. I could quit smoking weed, like if I had to.
Yeah, I mean, we all have the power to.
Yeah.
Some people just have it. Some people just have it different where they like can't. Like it's just it consumes them, you know. And like,
no, I get that.
If those people figure that out and are able to like stop, like, fuck yeah, power to you and like respect. Like
I respect the shit out of that. Like, because I feel like that's knowing that you're fucked up, like knowing that like you have a problem, like accepting that. Like I feel like that's
heavy. If it's heavily affecting your life, like it's
Like, are you drinking during the day? Like, are you drunk at your job? Like,
yeah.
because I feel like it's on the same point too. Like, bring it back into drifting is like to like the outlook of like being able to critique yourself and taking positive criticism from others. Like to be aware of like that the fact that like I have a drinking problem or I have a drug problem is like on point to me, to the point of being like, well, like that run was bad. I could improve upon. And I know that's kind of fucked up mentality.
Yeah.
But like I think it makes sense in my brain because it's like if you're
Self-awareness.
self-aware, like a lot of people aren't. Like a lot of people aren't capable of that. And that's why I respect the extremities. Like that's why I fuck with people that are 100% sober and people that party, because they know, like they're self-aware of like what they're capable of. Like plenty of my homies fell off and fucking OD'd and had needles in their arms. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't capable of like moderation. It was like same shit. Like, are you capable of like noticing problems in your life and like making changes? I feel like that's important.
Yeah, man. And on that note, take care of yourself, kids.
Yeah, don't take any advice that was given by me.
If any kids listen to this podcast,
yeah,
whatever.
How old is our audience here? You see, this is important info.
I don't know, actually. That's a good question.
Have you ever run the Google demographic? Like, what's the youngest demographic on the Goodest cast? Like, we talking
so
like
it's like, yeah, people listen from like teens to like 40s or like, but like the main peak is like around our age group.
Yeah, but we do have some like youngins in there.
Yeah, but
Should
I mean,
whatever.
they're probably,
You know,
they can listen to anything. It's all like available. Yo, dude, you can go outside.
Look, kid, it ain't cheating if you don't get caught. All right.
But stay out of trouble. If you want to do this stuff, you just got to put in all the effort.
Don't do roofies on your way to Japan until you're 18.
Oh my God.
Oh man. See, like my nephews are gonna listen to this, and then my sister's gonna be all pissed. Like, you know what the fuck you said? Kaden and Noah have been saying this shit for weeks now. Like, you know you're their fucking role model. Like, why did they pick me as role model? Like, you shouldn't have picked me. Terrible choice. You know? That
is their own fault.
That's their fucking choice.
I picked some terrible role models when I was a kid too. I thought some people were really cool that were like not. You know, that's just all part of growing up. You're like, that dude's cool, and then you're like,
yeah.
As you like become an adult, you're like, that guy sucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no offense, like, but that could be you. You know,
it could be me. It could be me. I'm not going to deny it.
I think you're doing all right, man.
They'll look up to me and then they'll be like, wow, that kid was fucking terrible. I shouldn't have listened to him at all. I hope that's the case. You know, maybe they'll become a lawyer or some shit.
Yeah, man.
Who were those, like, out of those people for you? Like a famous person, who would that be? Like, who would, like, back then?
It wasn't anyone famous. It was like dudes who like lived in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like this neighborhood. I'll tell this one story. Like this neighborhood I lived in, there was like all the neighborhood kids, and they all like had BMX bikes. They were a bit older, and like I'd always like, you know, pull up and like try and be cool. You know, it was like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years age difference, but I was 10, like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
and they were
that
like,
was a lot back then. Like
they were like 14, 15, you know? Yeah. And I remember going over to the dude's house, and he's like, have you ever heard Sublime? And I was like, no, what's that? And he put on like, fuck, what song is it? It's the one with like all the Spanish in it, where it's like,
oh, I know what you're talking about.
And like he was like explaining to me all the things in the song, like Kung Fu Grip and like all this stuff, and I was just like, whoa, this dude's cool. And then I realized like, when I got older, I was like, would I tell a 9-year-old about like all the like in-depth like sexual acts in a Sublime song? I was like, probably not.
Yeah, probably not the best idea,
But like at the time, I was like, this guy's cool, dude. He gets me. Like
Yeah.
he wants to show me his music, you know, like
Yeah. Especially like back then, like 3-4 years, like if they were like 3 years older than you, like that was a lot. Like
yeah,
I feel like when you're in your 20s and 30s, you don't really think about like age difference. Like when you're a kid, like
that's a big deal.
that's a big deal. You're hanging out with the older kids. Like these are
Yeah.
the cool kids. And
I mean,
usually like
I'm sure I've given some bad advice and told some people about stuff that I shouldn't have told them about, but you know, like little like
like
that same group of dudes also once told me that like if I needed to either decide if I wanted to join the neighborhood gang to protect the neighborhood, and if I want to join the gang, I have to kill somebody to like prove my uh like allegiance to the gang, and they
all
were
right.
all totally kidding, but I didn't get it. So I remember like I went home that day and I was like sitting in my room. I'm like, I was like, am I okay with like killing somebody to like
Yo.
be in this neighborhood? Like what if I don't do it? Then am I like outcasted? And I was like, I don't think I could do it, you know? And I was like,
Like you
but
legitimately
but
contemplated
I
this.
was like sitting there thinking about it as like a 9-year-old kid.
I mean, when
Fuck
you're
those
9,
guys.
I feel like if you're 9, like you're ready to fucking
Yeah, like you want
you're
acceptance
ready to
so
go, bro.
bad. You want acceptance so bad. You're looking for purpose and acceptance like harder than like you ever are in your entire
Yeah.
life. And if the cool kids say you got to fucking kill somebody to be part of the neighborhood gang, and it's like this wasn't like a bad neighborhood. Like I'm painting a picture like, you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't really that. I was just dumb, you know? I was just a
Oh
dumb kid.
man. I love that. I love that so much. Like I was just imagining like little 9-year-old, little chubby tall bomber. Just like, yeah, like where's the burner, bro? I'm about to mow somebody down. Fucking drive by tonight. Who we shooting? You're like thinking about people who you could possibly kill. You're like, yeah, my English teacher was kind of mean last week. Like, she gave me a 64 on my test. I failed.
Yeah, they were like, you know, you're gonna have to be like down for us and like all this stuff. I'm like, dude.
Damn. Damn, Palmer. What'd you
Yeah.
tell him? Did you tell him like, nah, I can't do it. I can't shoot.
So I like avoided him for a couple days because
As any 9-year-old would, like,
I didn't want to like say I wasn't gonna do it, but I also didn't want to like not be cool, you know. So I was just like I was like hoping it would go away, but then it was eating me up inside because I thought like, oh, now they don't, you know, like they don't think I'm, you know, whatever, like they don't think I'm cool. And I told him I can't remember what I said, but I like told him like I pretty much told him like I couldn't do it, and they were like, "You're still thinking about that? We were kidding, man. like we were just messing with you. Are you serious?" And I was like, "Oh," and I like bright red, like just
oh
like
no.
skated home, like just like mortified, dude.
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
So if you ever think
Yeah.
that I'm cool in any way, just think about that story.
Yeah. Palmer didn't kill anybody because he wasn't cool enough.
Yeah,
That's the moral of the story.
I wasn't down for the block, dude.
What was their gang name? Did they have a gang name?
Yeah, I don't remember, but like they gave me like the whole backstory and like how it came to be and stuff. Like it was like they sold it pretty good.
Let's hear it.
I don't remember. I don't remember all the details, but I remember they really sold it.
Come on, you definitely remember. You definitely remember something.
There was like I just want to remember what the name of the gang was that they said it was, because it was like when I look back, like when they told me they were kidding, like I was like, oh yeah, that name is stupid. Like that's not a real gang. Like why?
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. So what's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is people who you think are cool probably aren't.
No, when you're
the end. If you think we're cool, we're definitely not.
There you go. That's it.
Listen to your mother. She knows what's best for you.
Unless she says don't drift. Because she's wrong. No,
She's probably right, but do it anyway. If you want nothing but financial ruin and increasingly worse mental health.
I got a lot of that from Dad. He was like, "You're wasting your money, man. Like, what are you doing this for? Like, I'm like, anyway, whatever." It's like, yeah, I could pop some shots right now, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, you know what? We should just turn this into the shit talk. Who we talking shit about? Yo, people, who we talking shit about? They should give it like, you should do a podcast where it's like, all right, this is like the list, and it's like everyone who's ever burned anybody in drifting, like who's like a legitimate piece of shit, just be like, yeah, so and so did this, and then just like go down the list. It's just like literally be an hour of like every scammer that we've ever dealt with on Facebook Marketplace. Like,
I don't want to do it, but someone should do it.
I'll do it. I'll fucking okay. After this, leave in the comments who burned you, because we're gonna publicly put them on blast. Who's a piece of shit? Who needs to be out of this fucking culture? You're not welcome here. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I want no part of that.
Yeah. You would definitely get
list,
sued. Nah, are you on that list? What'd you do?
I mean, no, not. I guess not. I don't know. I don't know if I've crossed anybody. You never know, man. Like some people might feel slighted someday.
Yeah, but
like,
we need legitimate proof. Like we need some evidence. Like we're gonna put the fucking screenshots of like your conversations, like in the video.
Dude, I don't think you could do it in an hour. I think this would take like days. Like, there's so many people who have crossed the line. There's some habitual line steppers in drifting, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll do like the tri-state series. Like this is the Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. This is the public roast. Everybody submit your forms to goodestcast@gmail.com.
Oh, no.
We're going to decipher through everything. We're going to pick the best and shittiest people who need to be blasted. Oh, man.
Yeah. I'll let you handle that.
I'll handle it. I don't want to do it, but it should be done. You know, I could start right now. I have a few off the top of my head, but we'll save that. No. We're going to save that for the next one. You know who you are.
All right. Do you want to like shout anybody out? Do you want to add a password to the end? I've been like slacking on putting passwords at the end to like have people know they listen to the whole. Yeah, like if they listen to the whole thing, they send you the password. Like I listened to the whole thing, but like,
what the fuck? It's like a little token. It's like they found a little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like the password. What is the password?
Yeah.
Slinging golden slicer. Like what the fuck? like what? No, I'm good on the password. My password is send all of your roast submittals to goodestcast@gmail.com. We're going to put the next fucking pod together. Who scammed you on your lower control arms? Who sold you a fucking motor with low compression? Send the screenshots, full names. Send me their address and their cell phone.
You want to shout anybody out instead of talk shit?
I'm gonna shout out my boy Palmer for letting me talk nonsense for 3 hours. Nah, man, I don't know. Nah, I appreciate you, dude. This was fun. I had fun. It's been a long time coming. I feel like it was cool. We just started being friends really like 2 years ago, and I'm like, it's cool, man. I got boys in fucking California. I got friends in Shawano. I got people everywhere. I love it. I love everyone.
Yeah, man. Cool. I'm going to put a password on this one because if anyone made it through this whole fucking shit, like they deserve a prize.
I'll send you a free flash painting if you are the first to respond. Free giveaway. First to respond to the password gets a free flash painting.
Dude,
what's the password? What's it going to be? See, you should put the password in the middle of the podcast because if you put it at the end, then they fucking just skip to the end.
Yeah, but no, who's gonna skip to the end just for the password? I'm not gonna tell them that they get a prize.
Oh, true.
Also, all right, I have it.
Let's hear it. What's the password?
Osaka Castle ground roofies.
Holy shit. Oh my god. I love it. No, it's perfect.
All right. Thanks for listening, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, or whatever. I'd like to thank my sponsors, blank and blank. Oh man.
See you next time.